We are live. We are back once again. You know what it is. This is Unwrapped. We got a special night tonight, man. I'm telling you right now.
We do.
We got a special night. And you know, I be amped. And you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to contain myself right now. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit is gonna be dope. This shit is gonna be what this show is all about. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm excited. I'm excited.
We are.
As am I. Yes.
Okay, so let's just say fuck it. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. This is my co-host, the wonderful, the fabulous, the queen of the fucking co-hosts. There's no butter. There is nobody that's over her. That's Nash Vino, goddammit.
It's
Nash
me.
Vino. I said that's Nash Vino.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
And to my right,
What?
we have Heat Detector. Technically the reason for it all, you know. You know, he makes shit happen, you know.
I try.
He definitely makes shit happen. I don't know what fucking surprise he got up his sleeve, but my nerves are getting a little bit bad.
Oh no. We good. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'll drink to that. Let me drink to that. Shout out to me right quick. And of course, our non-resident engineer, again, I don't know where he is, but somehow he has bootlegged his way into the show again.
What's cracking?
See, how the fuck? I guess that's why they call him the engineer. But anyway, tonight's special guest, we have none other than the magnificent master of ceremony over here. We got DJ motherfucking HANZ Solo.
Please, welcome.
Oh shit.
Peace to the universe out there.
And since we're on that topic, DJ HANZ motherfucking Solo, let's get the vibe going. Okay? Let's just get a vibe going.
Maybe we can say HANZ
Solo.
HANZ
Solo.
HANZ
What?
Maybe we can say HANZ
Solo.
HANZ
I had to do it. I mean, this is Unwrapped, you know what I'm talking about? I had to do it. I had to. We gotta get that vibe right, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
HANZ
All right. And Solo. I had to do it.
Oh man, killing me.
Maybe we can say HANZ HANZ Solo.
All right. Look, is that an intro or is that an intro for a motherfucker?
Oh man, only you, man. Only you.
Hey, look, man, I had to do it. Now we got somebody else with some motherfucking feedback. There. All right. Yo, that's a motherfucking introduction.
It was.
That is the least that I could do for my man's DJ HANZ Solo in the motherfucking building. We about to get into this shit.
We about to get in it.
So what's going on, my mans? What's cracking with you?
Same shit, basically. Different day, man. You know.
Yeah. Same suit, different bowl.
No, I don't front. Yeah, I don't front. Daily grind. You know. After that, daily grind. Another daily grind. You know.
Never ending grind.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, that's what I be saying. Somebody got to do it because I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
So we just hopping right in it.
We're hopping right in it, man. This is what we do. Why are you acting surprised?
So I wanna know. I saw on your website it says Pasadena raised me, Chicago resurrected me. Tell us what that means.
Damn, you just jumped right
Okay.
in.
Well, you got shit.
Damn, that's. I mean, that sounds like. Wait a minute, man. That sounds like a question you should ask, like, midway.
No, fuck
I
that.
mean,
Let's
learn his name. I'm asking his birthday. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck that.
What's his favorite color?
Let's get right on in there.
Fuck it.
Let's get right on in
there, man. She went straight.
So, what that means is, when I first came to Chicago, I moved here in 07. I wasn't DJing. I had stopped DJing in 1999. Like I had hit some walls and just stopped DJing altogether. So when I moved to Chicago, I wasn't DJing. I didn't come back to DJing until I met my wife. And that was 2010.
Well, damn.
So what that means is, because I'm from Pasadena, California. So Pasadena raised me, but Chicago resurrected me because there were some cats that I started meeting, and I found my love again for wanting to do this.
Right. Because that's a question I was going to ask you, kind of, sort of, too. Like,
when you resurrected, you brought back to life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I get that now. I mean, I kind of got it anyways in the beginning, but I didn't even, she got to ask her a question. But
do it.
One of the things I learned a long time ago with DJing, and just like any other thing, when you do it so motherfucking much, there's a point in time where you almost get like a real burnout. You know what I'm saying? Is that what you hit, like a burnout?
Nah, honestly, it wasn't a burnout like that. It's just, when I got into this, like I started DJing in '88. So when I got into this, I was really good, and I was really young, and I was really stupid, and I did a lot of stupid things. And when you do a lot of stupid things, eventually your phone stops ringing.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately for me, at that point in time, my crew, we weren't smart enough or organized enough amongst each other to gain control of it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. To reel it back in, so to speak.
Yeah, like I'm a live wire, like, I'm just energy all the time. And sometimes that energy is good and sometimes it's not.
Right. I can understand that one.
Yes, I know you can. So, when you do certain things, or you start missing things because you're reading your own press clippings,
right?
People show you what the real is, and they, you kind of get just pushed to the side. Basically, if it was a label or something, you just get shelved.
Right.
So it wasn't that I was not dope anymore, but it's just, I made a lot of stupid mistakes because I was trying so hard to bring me and my boys, but at the same time, my boys weren't honing me in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, you should go do this. There was times I was supposed to go to studio sessions and I didn't go. I went to the club instead with like 20 homies. Like, hey, because I could get in on the guest list and I'm showing out.
You low key feeling yourself a little bit.
Yeah. And so eventually some of those bridges get burned down. Luckily, I was able to, like I said, when I got here and started doing my thing again, I was able to go back and at least, attempt to mend some of those fences.
Right. Now,
and put myself back in that position.
Right. Now, you said that you started back in 07, but then you said
no, I moved here in 07.
Okay. But you weren't DJing until 2010.
Right.
You weren't, I mean, like when I say DJing, I mean, because as a person who was a DJ myself and a producer and everything, it's hard as fuck to step away from that shit when it's all you know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let me clear it up for you.
So I mean, like when you DJing at home, but just not doing any shows.
There you go. Like I didn't have Serato and all the new shit now. I still had my my turntables, my original set of turntables, and my Techniques mixer that I had from when I was battling and all that.
Right.
And
did you ever go to DMCs?
Yeah, I've competed in several DMCs.
I was gonna say he did a couple.
As well as when I lived in LA, I competed in ITF in San Francisco, which was another battle thing. I've competed in DMCs, and
That's
ironically that you asked that is the
that's
last DMC.
That's Q-Bert's territory.
Exactly. Cuba used to live down the street from me. I used to live in San Francisco for a year. And I didn't know this until I was moving back to Southern California that he lived down at the corner.
Oh wow. Did you know when you were out in that area, did you know a DJ named DJ Smash, Turntable Terrorist?
No, not in San Francisco. Like I knew these dudes from the pirate DJs named Mind Motion and Ivan, and my boy from the original DJs, Positively Red. I met Shortcut before because he came to this club I was DJing at, and Apollo. I met Cubert, but when I met Cubert, it was at DMC in San Francisco.
That nigga, like him and the Scratch Pickles, boy, they terrorized shit for a while. They was terrorizing motherfuckers for a while.
Yeah, so when I lived in LA, in LA, the Beat Junkies was the predominant crew for LA. And they have an affiliation with the Scratch Pickles, and I always had a lot of love for Babu. You know what I mean? Babu was really always cool with me and so forth. Other members, I can't really say that it was always love.
Babu was a real cool ass dude. I have an opportunity to meet him and mingle with him a few times, and he's a cool ass dude just on some regular shit.
Yeah, because Babu, he was, me and him were really cool. He thought I was dope, you know what I mean? And then it got funny because I entered this Guitar Center battle, and I won that battle, but I ended up on the Channel 5 news because of that battle. And the dude is like, hey, one of the best in the city. And I remember Babu seeing me the next time he see me, he was like, hey man, I seen you on the news. Like, and I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah, they said you're one of the best in the city. And I was like, come on, man, let's knock it off, man. Stop that right now,
Hey, this whole music thing is outside of the record labels and shit, this is a very competitive ass thing. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like even if you're deep into it or not deep into it, there's a real competitiveness to it. You know what I'm saying?
It is, because it's okay, so DMC is not as competitive as some battles that most DJs enter.
Right.
If you're old enough to remember the New Music Seminar that used to take place in New York.
I'm the oldest person in the room right now, so trust and believe.
That's more personal.
Right.
Because that's when you in head-to-head battles are more personal than showcase battles.
Yeah.
In a showcase battle, I'm competing against, however many niggas in there.
Right.
I'm sorry. Can we cuss on here or whatever?
There's a lot of entertainment involved. There's a lot of like showmanship, and I always thought that the which is going to lead me to my next question, because I've been wanting to ask you this motherfucking question for years. I ain't even gonna lie, but back to the DMCs. Let me digress right quick. The DMCs is more of a show, and I always thought like it's one thing to be like putting on a show, and some of those dudes are just corny as shit when they're like, doing, like trying to pump the crowd up some kind of weird way, or I think the motherfucker does a backflip, comes back with his tennis shoe. Now he's got it on the fucking fader. Come on. Fuck, I don't want to see the theatrics. I want to see the skill. I want to hear the skill.
Well, you're supposed to combine both.
Right. That's the DMCs. But like battling is more about the music and the sound and what you're doing sonically. You know what I'm saying? To make
it's like when you're truly, well-rounded, it's like I said, it's about both your showmanship and your your actual technical skills.
Right.
So like you said, there's a lot of people because, in the DMC, there's two parts. You have a 2-minute routine, and then you have a 6-minute routine if you make it to the final 6.
Right.
So you need 2 routines. And some people, unfortunately, as much as I love Qbert and the Beat Junkies in them, a lot of them, unfortunately, categorize DJs and put DJs in boxes by saying, giving them labels. Oh, he's a scratch DJ. Oh, he's this kind of, when I was coming up, you were just a DJ.
Right.
You did parties, you did mixtapes, you battled. There was,
yeah.
I mean, of course you scratched,
what DJ,
every DJ's goal was to scratch on records.
Yeah. That's like the whole, like, that's how I got motivated even to DJ, and this is way back in the day. So like motherfuckers couldn't even really figure out like how they were making the turntables actually do that shit. And I remember going to record stores and they had a DJ in the record store and he was scratching. And I was like, fuck, man, can you show me how to do that? And I ended up mowing lawns for the summer, buying some fucked up straight arm turntables, a realistic mixer and shit. And
I had one of those with
a couple of
clicks in the middle and stops.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I, had, enough money to buy like maybe I had 4 12 inches, you know what I'm saying? And that's the first thing I learned how to do. It's the first thing I wanted to learn how to do is how to scratch. The mixing and the blending and shit came, that was second before scratching. The scratching was first. I had to figure that shit the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, leads me to my question that I've been wanting, and I seriously have been wanting to ask you for years about this. But now that I have a platform, it doesn't feel so weird to ask you this question.
Yeah.
And she's laughing because I told her about this shit about half an hour before the show, and I said, I'm gonna ask him this shit. I've been wanting to ask this motherfucker this shit for years. And she's like, what?
This is going to be a perverted question, right?
No, see, that's the reason why I didn't want to ask it before all these years. Why in the fuck do you have a Tootsie Pop in your mouth when you're DJing?
See, remember we were just talking about showmanship heat?
Yeah.
See how you can always remember that?
Right.
You know how many people remember me because of that?
I can imagine a lot because the first time I saw you DJing, I think this is before you had come to the studio. I forget what show it was.
I was DJing for the Rec Center when I met you at Murphy's.
Right. But I remember seeing you DJ and I was like thinking to myself, why the fuck does he have a lollipop in his mouth?
Because you know what it does?
Uh-huh.
It makes it look like what I'm doing is so easy.
Okay,
like
that
that.
makes sense.
I like that.
Now, my co-host says, I think he does it because it helps him concentrate. And of course, a woman would fucking think that.
I mean,
Well, no, she's partly right.
Oh, fuck me.
Because you know what it does? Unfortunately, when you DJ too, when you're scratching and so forth, you have a tendency to move your mouth to what you're doing.
Yep.
Right.
So that sucker stops that from happening so you don't look stupid up there with moving your mouth with, while you're cutting.
Thank you, Heat. Thank you so much.
But I know what you want. I know what you want. Okay.
So that's what I told you. I was like, yeah, she's partly right where she was going.
Right. But I have been wanting, because I remember like, even when you'd come and you'd do a session at the studio and you'd be scratching over some joints, you got one turntable, your mixer, but then you got that fucking sucker in your mouth. And I'm like, what the
scratch mouth?
I was like, what the fuck? And I'd always be sitting there going, what? But I'm like, man, I'm not finna ask this man why the fuck he's sucking on a sucker.
People always be having that weird ass mouth pose.
Yeah, I'm not finna
scratch mouth. You want to stop.
But I'm glad you got that.
And I'll be honest, I won't take credit for that. That was something that I seen, one of the people that I respected. I seen Tap Money with one, and I think it might have been the Serious video that he had it in.
How often do you get asked that question though? Or do
pretty much all the time, because everybody always wonders why I have a lollipop, and I seem to always have a lot of them in my pocket.
Right. I imagine. Oh, damn. Well, I'm glad I got that. That actually made me sweat a little bit because I was like, man, okay, I'm about to ask him this question I've been wanting to ask him for fucking years. But
no, that's it.
Yeah. The air has been cleared.
It worked as a double thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, it worked to keep the scratch mouth out, but it added to my showmanship because, you kind of look nonchalant with the little sucker in and I'm doing all this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now when I think about, your videos and shit, when I'm watching you perform And it makes a lot of sense because you do make it look really effortlessly, and then having the sucker in your mouth, I guess, is like, because I can remember seeing you and I'm like, okay, and what the fuck, you know what I mean? But then, you know, it's like, wait a minute, you know, how is he? And you're just like, you switch to the side, running, you trim back again, pull it out, you know, and be like, whatever. Woo! And I'm like, okay, this nigga really concentrating. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what it felt like. It just seemed a lot. It just seemed weird to me, and not weird, but I just needed to know. And
no, I know. And
that
like
off
I said, you're not wrong. It's a question that people have asked me, and a lot of people always want to know. But at the same time, like, you know, it's probably people that feel like you, or they felt weird asking the question.
Well, we were always like either in the studio alone, or like maybe one other person, and it's like, and that's you know, grown ass men, and I'm supposed to turn around, hey man, I've been wanting to ask you, bro, why the fuck you sucking on that lollipop when you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's not that kind of party, man. It's
like how you act.
no, I didn't. That's not. I'm just
saying, like,
that was a
if
character.
you had
That's
asked
a
it that way.
character of me asking. I mean, that's not how I would have. You know, even back then, I used to think maybe I should pull him to the side. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. That's like, bro, why you pull me to the side, ask me about a fucking sucker? I don't know, man. I'm just, that's weird.
That's hilarious.
It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? This is unwrapped. I told you, there's a lot to unwrap here.
Yeah,
there's a lot to unwrap here. So you started. So you came to Chicago. Now, here's the thing that one of the things that I love about you is that you claim both cities, but you also have another city that you claim.
well, I mean, like I said,
How does that happen? First of all, tell everybody what you claim. Where you from, son?
I mean, I was born in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Um,
Why the Wisconsin comes in there? Is it Milwaukee?
no, I was born in Racine.
Racine. Okay.
So we moved to California when I was 6, I think.
Okay.
We moved to Pasadena. As I got older later, I moved to San Francisco. But you know, throughout all this time and me getting to go places and my style of DJing, a lot of people always thought that I was from New York as well. Like,
Right.
you know, and honestly, I had never been to New York till I think 2000, maybe 2012.
Wow. And that's crazy because when I first met you, I actually had that same vibe because you don't DJ like you're from Cali,
right?
Or Wisconsin, for that matter. I mean, I've heard DJs, but every DJ has a different type of style. But you adopted more of the East Coast flavor. Would you agree to that?
Well, that's because, like, all right, here, I'll save you from, I don't know, a future question if you were to ask.
No. We want to ask all questions.
All the questions.
No, so what I'm saying is, like, when I started DJing, my favorite DJ is Cash Money.
Mm.
Like,
no, not
that.
I just tried to tell her not Cash Money.
I was waiting for you to say that.
We got to clarify things for her sometimes because she's a little.
So
you know, when it comes to hip hop, she might be, you know, if you say a name that's an old school name that somebody has adopted, you know what I'm saying, she'll be like, oh, you mean Lil Wayne and them?
I never ever said no shit like that. And you know what? How long we been in this? Not even 25 minutes, and I'm already ready to cuss you out.
Okay, that's cool because I got a question for you, real quick. Like this might settle something right here.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
What do you think about Beats by the Pound? And be honest.
I don't even know who Beats by the Pound is.
Thank you.
So, you know,
thank you.
I mean, now I feel the need to elaborate.
I mean, help me out because I might know.
So,
I mean,
maybe our third show together, maybe second, I can't remember. We were talking about ranking producers. So there was 2 sets of producers that I put on my list because
top five. Can you believe that shit?
Not because of wasn't top 5, it was top 10.
They shouldn't even be in that.
Stop talking. I put them on my list not for what they did, like literally, but for what they meant to the game as far as changing where they were from. So Beats by the Pound were basically
No Limit,
the producers for hire for No Limit. And I mean, they made 8,000 mixtapes and CDs, and they basically did all the beats. I never said that they were fabulous, decent, or none of that. But what they did for the culture in New Orleans and that era of music, wow. I mean,
you're going in depth right now.
You can't not give them their props.
That touched the nerve.
Okay. Now that you help me understand who they are, I mean, I wouldn't put them in my top 5, but I definitely can understand what you're talking about. Like, because that's like saying, that's like putting Manny Fresh in that category.
Right.
Trash.
Right.
Trash.
And I think somebody mentioned them when I mentioned that for the same reason.
And and I mean, when I look at things, like I said, I look at everything from a DJ perspective.
Right.
And everything that's a contribution to hip hop,
right,
is it has value.
That's
what I mean. When the 2 Live Crew came out,
shut your ass up.
When the 2 Live Crew came out, nobody was talking about Mr. Mix's production. You know what I mean?
Right.
They thought they were trashed the same way. You know what I mean? No. So everything has value because it allowed another area to join the party.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
And I can say that honestly because I'm from LA.
Not what she was thinking. When she
if
said
we could go back to that episode and we could play the clip. Well, when you let me talk, because at that part, at that particular point in time, you had lost your shit because I had brought them up, and also there was two other choices.
I don't know if I lost my shit.
Oh, you did. There was 2 other choices that other people made that you had the same. And what I was saying to you, and I will say it again, you cannot influence my feeling about any motherfucking thing. Okay. And you know what? I can't wait to have some sort of party or event, because guess who I'm having up in that motherfucker?
You are not having them.
I'm gonna have a fucking table with a red carpet around the table, with candles on that motherfucker and a spotlight.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to be about DJ HANZ Solo.
Well, stop bringing up old shit.
I just wanted to know his opinion.
See, we got to go to podcast couples therapy, because do you see this type of shit that's going on? It's just
okay. Listen, okay. Let me clear the air.
It's not okay.
Let me clear the air.
It's not okay.
They're not great producers. They're not great producers. Are they valuable to the culture? Yes. Okay.
Yes, they are.
I get where you're coming from, Heat. I get what you're looking at, because you're taking them and comparing them to somebody like Premier. And
I'm even taking them and comparing them to me like that. That trash that they made, I was making that kind of shit when I was a fucking teen popper. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like,
those are that's
it's 808s.
That's the motherfucker
808.
Hey, I ain't said you was wrong, but
all right. Wait. Say that one more time.
I didn't say you were wrong.
Woo!
That's
enough right there.
I just didn't appreciate that you didn't appreciate my perspective and the reasoning I gave.
No, it's just I can appreciate all that. I just don't appreciate Beats by the Pound. It's pretty much that simple. Anyway, can we get back to our special
Somebody's
guest?
gonna hashtag one of these, and when they share it, Beats by the Pound.
Shout out to Beats by the Pound.
They can get the smoke too.
Shout out to Beats by the Pound. Okay.
You want to hashtag that shit for him?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Listen.
Now back to the guest at hand. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us how you got your start? Did you always want to be a DJ, or is this some shit that you stumbled upon? You said, let me try that.
Nah, to be honest, I mean, unfortunately, most people that get in hip hop, they got the same ass story.
Yeah.
I can actually draw like I do, because I went back to school for graphic design and everything. So I could draw a long time ago. So I used to like graffiti. Mm-hmm. I tried to be a break dancer. That wasn't my talent. But there were some older cats that lived in my neighborhood that was breakers and DJs, and they actually were in the movie Breaking. And I remember
one of my favorite movies
out there hanging with Turbo and
Ozone and them.
Ozone and Shabazz.
They I mean, you know, they didn't have no lines or nothing, but they were part of the people at the Radiotron. And I, you know, I was friends with their younger brothers. So and their younger brothers were still like a couple of years older than me. But we would go over their house, you know what I mean? Like, and my man Chris, rest in peace, like he was a heavy breaker. And we go over there and they be doing this. And, you know, I seen them DJing, and then Chris's older brother got some turntables. And I would go over their house and I seen him cutting up Hashim, It's Time. And
it's time.
I just wanted, you know, I wanted to learn how to DJ, but at the same time, at that time, that was probably like 84, maybe 83, 84.
I was already making beats.
I was 2.
Damn.
And I didn't really get a chance to get started till I met my man Sean, my best friend. We went to high school together. We was on the basketball team, and ironically, like I was a sophomore, he was a freshman. He was trying out for the team. I was already on the team from the year before. So, you know, we started getting cool, but ironically, we both got cut on the same day for you know, for eligibility for grades.
Right.
So his cousin was DJing, I guess, but his cousin had left the turntables at his house. So, you know, after school, we went to his house and we was messing around with the equipment. And then, you know, from there, it just picked up steam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So go ahead.
So after that, you know, that's when, you know, my day consisted of going to his house, playing with the turntables. Then we go down the street to the gym and play basketball. And that was it. I was sold, you know what I mean? Like I knew what I wanted to do then.
Right. So go ahead, man.
How old were you when you got your first set of turntables?
When I got my first set of turntables, I was 20.
Damn.
Oh wow.
I had already shit. I don't even want to say
like, you know what I mean? I was like my friend Sean, you know, his parents bought him a set of turntables for Christmas.
Damn, you was hanging around some rich niggas.
For real.
Like I didn't really, you know, my mom's, you know, she tried a lot for me, you know, for us, but you know, I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, so
I spent the summer mowing lawns and I bought
well,
mine.
Ironically, like I had a rent-to-own turntable.
Straight arm Sony or some shit, right?
No, it was a Techniques. I had a Techniques turntable, man.
Arm,
no, it was a 1200.
From rent to own?
Yeah, it was a place out here called not out here, but in LA, it was a place called Pro Sound and Audio. And
okay. I thought you were talking about like the real rent to own.
No,
Rent-A-Center.
Rent-A-Center or some shit. Yeah.
Oh no.
I was like, yeah.
So my mom got me the turntable, and I was DJing with this other cat I knew, and I left it at his studio, and he just came MIA, man, and stole my turntable.
Wow. Always shit like that happens.
So
this
later
of being in hip hop, like
later, you know, when I was, like I said, I was 20, I got a job. I was a lifeguard, and at the time, you know,
wait, back the fuck up. You tried to swim past that lifeguard shit like real quick. You tried to wait a minute. Okay.
Hey, there's a lot about me, man.
Listen, not once.
You'll just wake up on a Tuesday and be a lifeguard.
Yeah, like not once has he said anything about, I used to hang around a swimming pool all the time, you know what I'm saying? Swim in my bathtub, swim outside. Not once have you said anything about water. And
hey, look, man, look, I was a
DJing.
I was a good swimmer. I was a
goddamn lifeguard. You gotta have training for that shit.
Hey man, look, I was a amateur athletic foundation champion. Like
of what?
In swimming?
In freestyle and backstroke.
Yeah.
You didn't say shit.
That's hilarious.
Wait a minute.
Asking the right questions.
Man, I'm trying to figure out, okay. So you mark spits and shit at this point in your life. Now you're fucking lifeguarding. So wait a minute, because if you're really doing that kind of shit, and you're playing basketball, and you're just discovering hip hop, how are you dividing all that time?
Hey man, when you're young, you're energetic, bro. Like I got all the time in the world.
That's true.
That's true. You make time for everything.
It's not like now. Now I gotta delegate my time. Like
right.
But then
time,
I had all the time in the world.
Next time, if I may be so bold to ask you, don't take us from breakdancing to truck driving and then try to bring back in, you know what I'm saying?
In my head, I was like, did he just say he was a
No,
lifeguard?
I heard that shit and I was like, oh, hell no, wait a minute.
And man, you asked how I got my first turntables, man. So, I needed a job to get those.
But as we're talking about you coming up, I mean, something like that. We're like, well, I started off, I had to get a job, man. I was a lifeguard, but I used to swim. I was on the swim team and the basketball team, and that's how my friend. Okay, so then when you say lifeguard, we don't go, what? Lifeguard?
Yeah, because the swim coach got me into that. You know what I mean? Like he got me the job. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was a good swimmer.
Okay, got you. Most niggas don't like water.
But that was, you know what I mean? That was after high school.
Right.
Like I said, I'm 20 by then. You know what I mean? Like
you're a grown man out there lifeguarding. Shout out to you for guarding lives.
For sure.
Shout out to all the little white
I wasn't the cool lifeguard.
You wasn't?
Nah. I was the guy that when you did something wrong, I sat you out until you was nice and dry.
You're the perfect lifeguard for a motherfucker like me, because I'd come over there and be like, I see you. And you'd be like, yeah, nigga, fuck him. I'd be like, yeah, fuck that shit.
Was it ever a time you had to go in and say somebody?
Nah, luckily, no. And I always envisioned that moment, and I always said I would probably call off and come back. Like,
shout out to not saving stupid white people. Shout out to not saving stupid white people for not understanding undertow. Not understanding.
Just because, honestly, like I didn't never want to go open up
wait,
in the morning.
You lifeguard at a pool where it's safe, or out there in them streets, out there in them goddamn beaches, Hammy?
Nah, I was at the park because every time the beach test came,
soft. You wasn't hardcore. You weren't out there in them streets like them beach lifeguards. They out there in the streets.
They wanted me, but every time,
yeah. They out there in the streets. I mean, they out there saving motherfuckers from sharks and shit.
Nah, they wanted me, but every time I was supposed to go,
arm floaties on.
When I was supposed to go take the test, when they wanted me, it happened. It always happened. The 2 times they wanted me, it happened the day after my birthday, and I was like trashed.
No, he said that like he was in the lifeguard drafts, first round pick. He said they wanted me, but
yeah, because
best of the best.
Because when you go there, when you go to the beach guard thing, you got to be there at 4 a.m.
out there in these streets.
That's gross.
And day after my birthday, there wasn't no way I was gonna be there 4 a.m.
And there wasn't no way the day after your birthday you was gonna be out there trying to fucking wrangle and wrestle sharks. I know this.
No,
because when you go out there, all right. So when you go to the beach test, back then, you had to do run, swim, run. So you had to swim out 500 yards, swim back, and then you had to do running with like a weighted dummy in the sand kind of shit.
Wow,
that's terrible.
Listen, that's the life, man. That's the life. When you choose that life, that life chooses you.
I mean, it paid good though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, at that point in time, I was like,
obviously, you were able to buy your turntables and do things. I want to like go back into something real quick, because I think this is kind of important for people to understand. DJing is not something you learn overnight, or beat making or rapping. And I don't think people understand, and maybe you can give some insight to this, on how much time it takes of being alone, honing your craft.
I was terrible at first,
Right. But I'm saying, if you were to put that into hours, how many man hours do you think you spent alone just DJing and learning?
Well, you got to figure, Heat. There's an old saying, it takes 10,000 hours to be great at anything.
Mm-hmm.
They do say that.
So I've been DJing since 88. I might have my 10,000 hours in now. Like,
I'm pretty sure you do.
But it is, when you start, especially like I did, when I started DJing at 15, 16 years old, you you become basically like almost like an introvert,
Right.
Which is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's where things get weird because by me being an Aries person, I have a lot of energy.
Church.
So it's hard for an Aries person to be an introvert.
Church.
Because in my mind, I could do everything. I could do it all at once. But like Heat was saying, it requires a lot of hours and alone time for you to really, learn the craft.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In today's world, yeah, you could probably cut that in half because they got YouTube videos that show you how to do everything.
Yeah.
Or you could contact one of these people and you can go to their school and they'll teach you how to DJ.
Yeah.
Most people that started before there was video, you had to learn everything by ear.
Yeah.
So if you heard a scratch like DJ Scratch or Jazzy Jeff did, there was no video to show you how to do it.
You did everything in your power to duplicate what you heard.
Okay.
And to be honest, that's what the problem is right now in the DJ community. Why there's not really any advancement in creativity of scratches. Everybody's just duplicating or replicating what they've seen.
Yeah. That was one of the questions that I was going to ask you about, coming from someone who has actual technique and, like you probably one last of the originals, I guess you could say. And these people now use their iPads or they have the things that look like turntables, but they're really not. And they're
controllers,
booking all these fests and all kind of shit like that. Like, what keeps you motivated when the game is really changing?
I just, ultimately, I love the art of it, and I don't participate in anything that restricts my art or whatever. So I don't get booked for a lot of shows. I'll be straight, forward about it. Because I'm not going to compromise the true art of DJing. I'm not going to be up there pushing buttons and, a lot of people now, a lot of these DJs, they're not truly DJing in a sense. It's a lot of pre-production.
Yeah.
Now you have programs, Audacity and Pro Tools and Logic and all this. And
even GarageBand.
Even that. And they pre-program sets where they can line everything up because now you're just reading a waveform.
That's just what I was getting ready to say. And
it's a waveform.
You can line them up perfectly. And that's like radio stations when they go, oh, the DJ is going to be doing their set right now. They're not. They're there, but they're just hitting a button and then the whole set's playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can totally DJ your own party like that.
They're not doing. Back in the day when a DJ, you could hear when I was DJing back in the day and a DJ was live, you could hear especially with the better I got and the better my ear got and scratching and mixing, you could actually hear the DJ fucking up. You know what I'm saying? You
don't even hear mistakes anymore.
No. And the mistakes are the greatest part of it. Because
that was them creating something else because they were trying to do something they heard probably.
That's what I was just going to say.
So when Jazzy Jeff introduced the transforming scratch, everybody went home and tried to learn that.
Yeah.
And that's why at that point in time, all of a sudden you heard a whole bunch of different scratches because that mistake turned into something else for you.
Right. It's sure
you may not have got the transforming, but you created something else.
Something completely different. Yeah.
Shout out to Jazzy Jeff.
I wasn't really that good at transforming. I wasn't really that good at scratching. My blending was probably mediocre. But this leads me.
Hey, don't say that out loud. You're a New Yorker, man. New York people take that blend game serious.
The facts are the facts. And I'm comfortable with that because with me DJing, I transitioned way faster than most DJs into beat making because I would hear these records and I would hear things in my head that I'm like, this would have made it so much better if they did this or did that. And so that leads me to my question to you. Everybody knows. And it's weird to me when I think about it, like when we spoke the other night, it's weird to me that you never saw it as a progression, to start making beats. You didn't from your words to me was like you just never thought of it. Like, oh, I should start making beats.
I did, but there was a tug at my heart because I was so competitive with battling.
Right.
I didn't want to dedicate time to doing that.
Right. And that itself takes another 10,000 hours.
Yeah. And
you
I didn't want to dedicate my time to that. I was too busy trying to destroy people, my competitors.
Right. And see, that's where my DJing differs from yours, because I didn't get into DJing to be competitive. I got into it because, number one, I love hip hop and everything like that. But I wanted to be the house DJ, you know what I mean? And do house parties and quinceañeras and shit, you know what I mean? And so that's what I did for the most part when I DJ'd. So I wasn't looking for the skill and to battle. I was just, rocking the crowd and, loving how the music went together when I blended records and did shit and how the crowd interacted. And that's probably why my transition
for sure.
into making beats was much faster.
Exactly. Like, when I was alluding to it earlier, what took me longer to really love DJing was, I liked Jam Master Jay, of course, and Flash.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, what really made me want to DJ was, 87 hit.
Right.
Cash Money. I seen the video, and this time, you was lucky if you knew somebody with a video.
Right.
So I got to watch the video of Cash Money versus Joe Cooley. Joe Cooley's from LA.
Right.
And
Joe Cooley. Rodney-O and Joe Cooley. I actually have one of their original sticker flyers from that era.
I got a lot of love for
Joe.
Joe.
Jerry curls, and it's a black and white, like almost like a bumper sticker. It's around his house somewhere.
Yeah, so that was important to me. And at that time, Cash Money. So like, my Mount Rushmore is Cash Money, Bobcat, Scratch, Aladdin, and DJ Miz.
Ooh, Aladdin, one of the DMC winners. He was the youngest at the time too, Aladdin.
So, I used to have pictures on my wall, like the album covers. So like I had the EPMD So What You're Saying album cover with Scratch holding the belt from the New Music Seminar. I had Cash Money's album cover up there when he had when he won the DMC and the New Music Seminar with the belt and all that. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't understand that these dudes were older than me.
Right.
So I had those pictures in front of my turntables, and I always pictured, I said, all right, this is what I would do if I'm, if I run into them and we in a battle, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
So I was always battling myself, but in their form, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I get it. I get it 100% because just because I want to get back onto this transition, because I know you made the transition, and I'm, I don't.
That didn't happen until I met you.
Oh, shout out to me. If I can say that, because here's the thing. I say that because not a lot of people give me credit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I know you, and I know where you stand on a lot of things. And it's like, it's tough, man, when you do shit and you help people and you don't get it's not really the recognition, but even the acknowledgement or the understanding or whatever, you know what I mean? Because like I've taught so many people how to make beats, and you're one of the very, very few that when I do talk to you, even when we have a conversation without anybody sitting there, you always point and say, "No, Nick, because of you." I'm like, and so, it kind of blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah. So let's fast forward to, all right, I met Heat at a Six Rings event at Murphy's. And I think he was with Reverb when I met you. Because, like I told you, Reverb, he was doing something else that which, kind of created an awkward situation. But
Right.
At the time, I was just getting started, because when you met me too, I was riding under a different alias. My name was
I know that. I didn't want to say it. I know. I was waiting for it. Yeah.
because I told you I had stopped DJing, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt that bridge was burned up. So I tried to sneak back in with an alias, and it was
Tell the
kind of
people what that
received
alias
well.
was.
It was Be Famous.
Be Famous. I remember that.
And so when I met Heat, I came up with this idea that I had 7 producers that I met, but I didn't really have a studio or anything to put this in motion. And what I did was these 7 producers gave me some beats. They gave me like 30 beats. I laid scratch hooks on every beat. And then I put the beats on SoundCloud for MCs to pick a beat that they was going to make this song out of. But like I said, I had no knowledge of Pro Tools, no knowledge of how I was really going to make this happen. The blessing was, like I said, I met Heat. Heat had told me to come by his studio, and I go by and we're chopping it up. And I told him what I was doing. And, he opened the door to me. He said, hey, if you want to work here, come here. So he's like, I'm not going to do everything for you. I'll show you how to use Pro Tools and do what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And,
one of my big things is always, and I tell people this shit all the fucking time, whenever, it takes a lot to get me. I say this a lot. It takes me a lot to get me out of bed nowadays. If somebody comes to me and says they want something or need something, you know what I mean? And one of the things that because I'm from the old school like yourself, we didn't have tutorials, we didn't have all of these things, and most definitely, if you do meet somebody, they're not going to tell you all the tricks of the trade. They're not even going to fucking show you anything. They're going to let you sit there and suffer. And so one of my things has always been like, if I ever get an opportunity to help someone or teach someone, I'm gonna tell them what to do, but they're gonna have to put their hands on the motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you did. I had to control everything.
I would tell you and help you.
You was in there taking pictures. I still got the pictures.
Like you're supposed to remember.
Yeah. So, and at the same time, I ended up with White Jesus, number 2, A-Rab, and Nightwalker, because they were at your studio heavy. And then I convinced them to jump on a joint.
Yeah.
So, fast forward past that, I put this project out, and this is where you learn how serious people are about their craft.
Right.
This project wasn't meant for me to make money off of anything. It was meant to unify people, because the project featured people from LA, Milwaukee, Chicago. There was even a couple of dudes from Europe that, dude was rapping in French. We have no idea what he was saying. But it was dope. And the plan was to do shows in different cities and with the MCs, hopefully from that city.
Word.
And so when that started to, I let it try to take life, but at the same time, I'm still going to Heats, and he'd ask me to lay scratches on certain things. So like, I'll bring the turntable and do some scratches, and then somewhere out of the blue, I decided I was going to buy an MPC.
No, you bought the machine.
No, I bought an MPC 2000 that was fully blown out, and I didn't know how to use the shit.
That's right.
So I asked Heat. He told me to bring it to the studio because Heat's used every fucking machine possible. So
thank you.
We're sitting there, and he plugs the shit in. I mean, and he's going through it, but he's worked on other products. This shit, as you learn, this shit is outdated now, actually. You know what I mean? So he's like, hey man, how much did you pay for this? So I told him, and I was like, I got it for like $500, which is a hell of a deal because it was like fully blown out.
Right.
So he's like, hey man, just sell that shit and buy a machine. The machine is way cheaper. So I said, he's like, and it's more user friendly. So
yeah.
Like, all right, fuck it. Okay.
I remember the day you brought it over.
MPC on eBay, got rid of that shit, made my profit and went and bought a machine. And then I brought it to Heats. And then, like I said, the rest goes in history, because then Heat was able to show me how to use the machine, which,
that would be this.
I dibbled and dabbled at first.
This
I would come to Heat with beats that I tried on my iPad, on my iPod and so forth. And, he give me his opinion about it. And then,
I'm kind of harsh. I know that I am.
Kind of.
But the reasoning for that, especially when somebody I know, like, I knew you had talent. Like, the moment.
But that's what I'm saying. You weren't brutal on a lot of my beats. Because you already knew. You were like, hey man, you hear everything. Like, and like you always said, that was something that amazed you about me, is that the shit that I hear, that like even when we was laying scratches, the shit that I hear when I hear a beat, like, all right, I got something. Here you go. All right, boop. You know what I mean?
The shit. Listen, let me give you some props right now, because I've seen you DJ and do all the theatrics. I've seen you scratch in the studio, and even when you do something, I feel like, damn, that was like right on the money. You're like, no. I see the perfectionist in you.
Yeah, I know, and you had to stop me some of the time, because I'll keep going. I won't.
But one of the things that always amazed me about you, and this is how we even got into the conversation about why you're not making beats, because you could hear something, and immediately in your brain, you're hearing cuts of a song that goes with what the rapper's talking about without even fucking pulling a record out. And that kind of shit blows my mind, because that's a true God-given gift. Because that's muscle memory in the brain. Like, I try to,
I used to get in.
She's a great co-host, but let's be real.
I used to get in quarrels, Heat, like at the studio in LA, when, like I said, some of these bridges that I messed up. There were people.
You're lucky he stopped me. Go to
like
hell.
Exhibit and Rascast and these people that I was supposed to go do stuff for. And one of Rascast's producer, this dude named Bird, me and him would get into it left and right. You know what I mean? Like, because he always wanted me to cut like Premiere.
Right.
And I got mad. Me and him I'd get mad. We'd be arguing. I'm like, hey man, I don't want to be the dude that sounds like Premiere.
Nobody in music wants to be the guy that people go, oh, he sounds just like so and so.
Yeah, that just wasn't gonna sit well with me. So a lot of times, me and him had this bickering. You know what I mean? Like, and that probably soured, some relationships in that. But like I said, I can't compromise something when you've, to the masses, you've never heard me. They've already heard Premiere.
Yeah.
So, kind of like Alchemist. When Alchemist came out, oh, he sounds like Premiere.
Right. They don't sound anything alike, by the way.
I mean, early they did, though. You know what I mean? Like,
because sometimes in this game, you don't find yourself till you find yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't find yourself. It took me.
I like that.
It took me years to find out that I had my own sound. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so, just like as a DJ, I not can just imagine it. I know it. That even blending, like if you blend certain records that niggas already tried to do or ever did, they're gonna be like, oh, you sound like so and so. Even though your blends in your ear, you're blending in it differently than the other motherfucker, but it's because you used two same records.
Well, with DJing, what happens, unfortunately, is two things can be true. You know how people will speculate that there's another person that looks like you in the world?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's somebody like you.
In DJing, unfortunately, there's somebody else that possibly had the exact same idea you did.
Yeah.
And what happens is, now we live in a social media digital world.
Yeah.
So now it's about who gets that fucking shit first on camera.
Who does it first?
Because once it's on Instagram or whatever the social media outlet is,
everybody's gonna.
It's over for the other guy. He looks like the fighter.
It's fucking over with.
So he might as well just wrap it up. Don't even post the video.
Yeah,
everybody's gonna come in there and say,
"Oh, you trying to sound like
so-and-so." Oh, Jazzy Jeff just did that.
Heat Detector just did that.
He did. I saw him.
No, that's not true because I never really posted any music. I didn't like doing that shit.
And that's ironic too, like, because myself, Steve, rest in peace. You know, it's been so many people on you Heat that was like, "Hey, man, the fuck are you doing, man? Put the fucking beats up."
I just had this mindset of I this goes back to competitiveness and proving something to yourself. I wanted my music to speak to people in person, if that makes any fucking sense.
Mm.
You know,
that's old school. I mean, that's old school. I remember, like I said, my man Broadway in LA, and even Bird, like I said, I remember going to studios where people just went to listen to their beats.
Right.
And like you said, there was no social media, so that's how you did it.
That's exactly.
So I get what you mean. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Where you didn't need that. Like
I didn't feel like I never felt like I needed the internet. But the crazy part about it is that I fought, as much as I embraced the internet, I fought it by myself though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the one-man army.
I'm the only person that was thinking these things or doing this shit, but at the same time, I was still building relationships via the internet and working on albums and doing things of that nature. But me actually, like, my wife used to be on my tail about it all the fucking posted. I was on SoundCloud when SoundCloud first came out. I'm one of the. I was on Twitter when Twitter first started. I have all of these accounts, but I never posted really anything. I did a couple of things on YouTube, but I'd be wasted after everybody left the studio. 15, 20 people, 30 people.
Yep.
Everybody left.
New Amsterdam.
And I'd be lit, and it'd be a beat that I had made, and I'm like, let me just go on YouTube. My wife told me to do this shit. And I go on there, and I'd be talking crazy as shit, and playing the beats, and going through the sounds and how I put them together. And oddly enough, they started getting views. and then that's when the other pressure started. Like, I told you need to do it all the time.
Well, sometimes
and then I had multiple people saying the same fucking thing, and I was just like, just like
you got to listen to the woman.
Yeah, I know, and it leads me to my next question, because excuse me, one of the things that I know, and as a creative person, and I say this every fucking time we interview somebody,
you do,
because it's so. I think that it's one of the most overlooked things for a creator, for a person who is an artist. You have to be with the right woman. They have to they don't have to understand what you do. She doesn't necessarily have to know how to scratch, make a beat, do none of that shit. But she has to understand that this is who you are. This is what you do. And regardless if she's there or not, you're going to do it anyways. You're never going to stop doing that. And it's very difficult to find a person to be your partner, in life. Those for the LBG, WXYAZ people. He, she, them, hey, her.
There you go.
All that. We don't discriminate around here.
We do not.
Just another disclaimer. We always have disclaimers.
They enjoy hip hop as well.
Yeah, a little now. Probably taking it deep right now.
You know,
but I don't mean that. Go. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. He ain't taking nothing deep. I don't know what he does. He's gay though. Let's just be real.
What? That was just random.
I know, but these are my thoughts right now. But anyways, it takes a really, I want to say a good person, but an understanding person that not only understands you, but believes in you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, I moved here in 2007.
Before we get into that, how do you make that transition? Were you back in Wisconsin, or you were in Pasadena?
LA.
How did you have, because you can't? It's hard for a young man to just move to another city when you don't know nobody? Did you have connections here already? Did you have somebody?
No. My mom had moved to to Wisconsin because they at the time when my mom was still alive, my mom had multiple sclerosis, and they told her family had told her there was better doctors in Milwaukee for that.
Okay.
And my parents, they were divorced since I was like, I don't know, 10. So my mom had moved back here in like 2000.
Okay.
And my sister moved, I believe it was 04 maybe. Right after she had my nephew. And when she had my nephew, his pops, my nephew's dad is, well, let's just say he's not, the typical community guy.
Oh, yeah. We all know those people. I might have been that guy a couple of times in my life.
He's in and out, and for my nephew, I didn't want him to be without a male figure, because that's the only nephew I have. And
church,
when he was born, I went to the hospital, and you kind of look at somebody, and I kind of made him a promise that I'll always be there,
church. And
then my sister decided to up and move. So when I was in LA, it was basically just me and my dad left, and I don't fuck with my dad. So it is what it is on that.
Okay. We won't touch that one.
So, one day I just woke up because I have a lot of cousins and my grandmother and my aunt all live in Wisconsin. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? It'd be really, maybe it'd be a good time to really get to know my family and have family again. So, but in my mind too, at the same time, I wanted change. I was kind of burnt out in LA.
You're at a pivotal point in your life.
So, Chicago wasn't the first option. I was like, I'm finna fucking really move to New York, man. Fuck it. That's where I'm supposed to be at. Then the light bulb went off in my head. I said, you know what, nigga? You don't know anybody in New York. Not any real friends. I mean, other, MCs and, DJs, celebrities and shit, but those aren't your fucking friends, I said, I don't want to be a statistic. So, and I was like, you could move to Miami, but then the same thought process, So
can I be honest with you real quick?
Yeah.
None of us in this podcast look good enough to go live in Miami. I'm just gonna say that. I'm a 10 here.
I'm finding a motherfucker. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm a 10 here in Chicago. I'm a 10.
It's too fucking hot in Miami for me though.
Miami, I'm probably a 3.5 maybe on a good day if I shave.
They need to turn the sun down.
You know what I'm saying?
They want me.
Miami is where the pretty people go. It's the one place I have not been in the United States, and I refuse to go there.
You got the right shoes on right now.
Oh, look, man.
Oh, you got your chocolates?
You didn't comment on these ones. You commented on the last one.
I didn't. But I've been looking at the motherfuckers the whole time.
You got your Havana Joes?
I got my Sherbets on.
I love those.
Hey, Heat, I can't agree with you, man, because, hey, man. Some cars are made better than others, man. I survive in everywhere I go.
No. Trust me, I get that. I'm a hustler. I'm a gangster. I trust me. I would have found my place, but the people I probably would have found my place with wouldn't been like the super pretty motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. You know what I'm saying? I know my place in life. Goddamn it.
Oh shit.
So I bounced. I was like, all right. You know what? I'm not fucking moving to Wisconsin. I was like, I'm not gonna move from LA to there. That's not gonna work. I'll move back in like a week.
You moved to Wisconsin from fucking Pasadena. Not only are you jump from a fucking a 5 or a 6, you jump to a 10, and then on top of that, you famous without even being fucking famous.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey man, that look. When I moved here, I stayed at my grandmother's for 2 weeks. Man. That was the worst experience ever. Because I got stopped by the cops more than I could imagine. You remember my expedition, Heat? Like, I had the stereotypical drug dealer.
White, cocaine white, on 24s, at least 24s. Them rims
it had 24s and TVs and shit in there.
They were beyond motherfucking bling. Them motherfuckers were straight mirrors.
And this was, like I said, this is
He pulled
06,
up in
07.
my studio and that shit. He's like, I'm outside. I went outside. I said, God, what the fuck? It was like a gangster monster truck.
Like a billboard.
Listen.
Yeah.
I myself was like, nigga, what you selling, nigga? What you selling? What the fuck is you doing? Because that was nigga, that was no, listen. I'm gonna be honest. That was some Bootsy Trick Daddy.
Yeah, this
Miami,
was
I don't
common.
know how he put cocaine white. If I'm not mistaken, did it have a little pearl to it?
Yeah, because the mirrors were chrome, the rims were chrome, like everything was like
The nigga had
perfectly
chrome
aligned.
on places you didn't know they could put chrome.
That was your prized possession at the time, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, but
outside of your turntables.
Yeah, so when I brought it here, like I said, in Wisconsin, that shit is like a fucking magnet.
Yes.
Because I had a California plate too. So
yeah, he out here. He just dropped off 2 kilos. Let's pull him over.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. And it was like, fuck. So
Johnson, look at that car. It's also cocaine white.
That can't be a coincidence.
No, it can't be. He's got to have cocaine in that goddamn truck. Look at it.
So when I got here, I was like, all right, I want to get to know my family. And sometimes when you have an idea, that shit just turns out to be an overrated experience. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? That was a bad idea. All right, you know
Shout
what?
out to bad ideas.
So, I moved to Chicago, but like you said, like you alluded to, Heat, I had never been to Chicago. So I'm like, I didn't know where the fuck to move. I didn't know where the fuck nothing was. I'm like, all right, I need to find a place to live. I'm looking around. Hey, man, I don't know shit from shit here. You know what I mean?
You don't know shit from Shinola. That's, I think, what he said.
I finally had to get the apartment people to help me, and they're like, hey, do you want to live on the north side, the west side? And so I was like, I don't know. I just want to live in Chicago.
Thank God you didn't go on the west side.
Well,
Boo.
luckily, I almost got an apartment like a block below Division in Humboldt Park, but the dude didn't show up. Like, you know what I mean?
And it may not have been horrible.
Well, that was my fault.
Back then, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that would have been all my fault because I wasn't thinking clearly. Like, the dude didn't show up, so I went to this little store that it's still there, right at California Division, because there used to be a KFC on the corner.
Yeah. See, all of us in here nodding like, yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm on my phone talking to my friend Sean. I alluded to earlier because when I moved to Chicago, he moved to Arizona. So I'm talking to him, and that's like, hey man, I'm gonna move over here. It's a gang of fine women over here.
Okay.
Not thinking about nothing about the neighborhood or anything safety wise, like
because you went from seeing XYZ to now seeing XYZ.
Well, because when you go somewhere else, everything always seems to look better, even though it's really the same. But
facts.
Grass is greener.
Yeah, it always looks that way.
Let's be clear about that. It just looks green. But when you hop that fence, that shit don't work out.
It might not be
the same.
That shit don't work out. You're like, oh shit, this AstroTurf, this shit ain't even real.
Man.
But we'll fast forward some more. So I get a job. I'm working a job, but I still have my turntables, like I said. And at the time when I first met my wife, we're just hanging out doing the dating thing. So she didn't really know much about my DJ history or nothing because I didn't talk about it.
Right.
But then when we got married and we moved in, my turntable was in the basement, and I'd have a shitty day, so I'd go down and DJ. And I'd be on my turntables.
Say that again. You'd have a what?
I'd have a shitty day, bro.
And then do what?
And I always return to what I love, music. So I'm down there and I'm practicing, and the conversation kind of comes up of, why I don't DJ anymore.
Ooh.
Because obviously she could see I was really good. And so, we talked about it a little bit and whatnot. And, she's like, well, you should DJ, you know what I mean? So I didn't have Serato or nothing. Like I said, I was still DJing on vinyl.
Yeah. This shit was when you pull up to a show, you bring crates, all that.
Yeah. So, she could, we talked about it, and I was like, well, I don't have Serato and all that. So, I researched all that, and she's like, well, get Serato, whatever you got to do. And I got Serato, and then I had to learn how to use all that shit. And at this time, I only had my original turntables, like I told you, that I bought in 91.
But even then, at this time, Serato has the vinyl that you put on it.
Well, yeah, I had that in the little fucking Serato box that you used on the mixer.
What you're saying is you hadn't put anything in like MP3 or anything like that in your computer.
Oh, well, I had MP3s, but they weren't clean kind of MP3s.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were like, where you might have another DJ's dropping there. Hey, this is so and so.
Yeah, right.
Because I was just, I still was downloading and listening.
Let me ask you a question about the drops. Have you ever put drops in your music? I don't know that I ever listened to. I mean, I listen to your music.
I just don't overdo it. Like now, most of my drops are like from, well, not throwing them out there and doing all that, but like now my drops are from like celebs. So like, because Red and Meth's DJ Dice was my man, and when they were out here, we went to the show. So Meth did a drop for me.
Oh, dope.
I know King T and I know the Alcoholics, so they did drops for me. MC Shan did a drop for me. Elder Sensei from the Artifacts. And XL with Lord Sadat did a drop for me.
Speaking of Sadat, we're gonna have him on the show here real quick. I told you about that,
Yeah, and I told you I DJ'd for them at Sub T.
Sub T.
They I was their DJ for that night. So I backed them up, which and I got the set list posted in a frame and so forth in my lab down here. But like you said, it just takes a good woman, because my original turntables don't even see any work anymore. I own 10 turntables now.
That's this. I got another question too, because it not only does it take a woman to understand all this shit.
Here, look,
but we have an affection for collecting equipment.
That is gorgeous.
See, that's a real DJ right there. That's a mother. Listen. Shout out to every DJ on the fucking planet. But wait. No, baby. Man. See, that's my New Orleans shit. Shout out to Beats by the Pound.
Shit.
No, baby.
Shit.
Right cheer. Shout out to New Orleans again.
Yeah.
Beats by the Pound. Gia. My man's just showed you. Can you do that one more again for the motherfuckers? The motherfuckers
table of.
They call that where I come from. They call that a smorgasbord.
Shit.
All right, so it goes. There's one way in the back there that by the HANZ Solo logo on the wall. That's my original set.
Damn.
That's why we never got along, fam. Because you showing off.
And all of these right here on this table, it's like an octagon.
Damn.
So you can basically host battles in your crib.
With your goddamn self.
I do. I battle myself all day.
That's hilarious.
Hey, that's the biggest battle right there.
Well, what happens is why I own the turntables I just accumulated, but the mixers, it's just a habit from battling. I used to always want to have whatever mixers were available, because when you go into the battles, you don't know what mixers you're on. So I wanted to be thorough on whatever I was on.
You see, I personally am always buying equipment, then I get bored of them, and I had just bought this one, and I know a lot of people hated me when I bought this. This is the MK2, the 404, the Roland 404 MK2, and this is when they updated everything. It's brand fucking new, and niggas don't understand what I'm learning on this motherfucker. This is shit that you know how I am, bro. Like, people don't. There's only a few people that know how I am. I do get new equipment. My wife was mad. She's like, "There's a package for you." What the fuck? And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "What the fuck? I mean, it's fucking heavy. Open it." Like, I'll open it later. No, open it. I open the motherfucker up, and she's like, "Fuck, do you really need that? I'm like, yeah, I actually do. In her voice, I actually do. And she understands, but she doesn't, you know, she gives me hell about it, but she understands. This is just, but my whole thing is I have my machine and I love it. This is one of the newest ones. I'm getting ready to get the other one, the the Machine Plus, because I can move around with it and it has a battery in it. It took Native Instruments forever to do that. But I even had my Machine Studio for a long time, just sitting up in the back, chilling.
That's over there for you. Look, hold up. Here you go, man. It's over there.
See?
That whole setup is dope.
Excuse me, I got a setup too.
God damn it. This is not about you.
This is a battle. We're battling.
You're both pretty. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
First of all, in Chicago, I'm a good 8. I'm a good 8. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I don't have enough. I don't have bling. I've never been a bling guy, so I don't have necklaces and nothing like that. But I try.
I don't really see you. No.
I used to be back in the day. Don't get it twisted. I had ropes and all that shit. But that to me brought too much attention when I didn't. I wanted attention, but I wanted attention a different way. Not for and hey, listen, if that's anybody's thing, do it. I just don't see any value in it for me.
That was all about equipment and shoes.
Equipment and shoes.
The evolution of the flex.
Yeah. My flex is in a different way. My flex is on the music and sometimes I do flex a little bit when I make a purchase like this, when they still have motherfuckers that haven't received theirs yet.
I mean, that's got substance. You know what I'm saying?
And also too, it's gonna put in work.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I'll probably get rid of that before I ever get rid of my machine.
Yeah, I can see you doing that.
Yeah, and I'll just sell it, get something new and better, and because I really do enjoy learning new equipment and new shit, new technology, and that's another question. Wouldn't you consider yourself a nerd when it comes to this shit?
At this point, yeah, because
everything is because you cannot nerd out on something without having a bunch of it.
For real, like you could tell he's a true student of the game. Like, I mean, he literally has a banquet table of DJ.
Now, we call that, you know what I mean? I have to DJ on like, you know what I mean? Like, I got 2 MacBooks, you know, and like, you know, unfortunately with computers.
Now you're flexing.
He out here in these streets.
now you do it. First of all, you show us 900 turntables. 899 mixers in the background.
I didn't even show you. Like, I mean, those are just the mixers on the table.
Don't think we didn't see all them fucking records.
Well, I didn't even show you the other mixers. Like,
no, we don't. Okay, all right. You want to flex? Go ahead. We're gonna call this unflex.
All right, I want to see.
I can't take it over there because the camera won't go that far down there, but.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about how big your studio is. Oh my god!
No. Oh, because the way
like a white dude right now in a Jaguar, like going, this means I have a big, you know.
That's hilarious.
No, it's not that at all. It's just that, the GoPros are hooked up right here at where the turntables are.
Another
so
flex.
I can't move over there.
I don't have anything like that. You know what I have? I'm using my iWatch right now to do this show.
That's all right.
Hey man, look. I'm be honest with your viewers, man.
The camera on my iWatch is doing this show right now.
I've seen, you know.
That's how fucked up my flex.
Hey, look, I try not to get it there, man. Look,
you have one.
Stop.
I'm just saying, there's somebody out there who got a fucking Cricket Android that's trying to make it happen. I mean, what you know,
man. Look,
I'm just saying
I live life to the fullest.
I bought these mics right before Radio Shack closed. That's some years ago. These are those Radio Shack mics.
Them bitches work though, don't they?
Right.
Hello.
Stop playing with me. These are not Radio Shack mics. Let's be clear.
Even if they were.
Let's be clear.
You got? I got a little basic Shure plug-in mic, man.
Okay. See, listen. Here's the thing. we're not gonna do this because I will start flexing right now.
Hey man, I tried to use the cordless short mic, but
I'll start. It wasn't
cooperating with us.
I'll take this fucking old MacBook. I don't even think it called it. It just has an Apple on it. It doesn't have a name.
It's still delicious.
The funny thing, when I was talking about the MacBook, I still have that white MacBook that I brought to your studio. I had to get another one because that one day tripped out and I got nervous. Renal, when you're DJing, see the catch-22.
He's sorry.
No.
Let me tell you something.
Now, when you're DJing,
DJ HANZ SOLO.
If the MacBook dies, guess what? The music turns off now. It's not like vinyl records.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Solo.
Let me tell you something, HANZ SOLO.
Hands Solo.
Let me tell you something. I can flex.
Wait. Before you get ready to tell me, here, hold up. I want you to tell me, and then.
Holy fuck, he's about to flex again.
I want you to tell me your story, all right?
I bet that's an iPhone 59.
Go ahead, tell me the story, man.
Of what? What? Tell me the story of what? Oh, I get it. The sob story.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh,
man, hold up. Yeah, man, I fucking hate Solo, man.
And that
this motherfucker keeps flexing on me.
You want me to do
Fuck
it?
him.
For you, I'll do it. Go ahead. Play the violins. I'll do it. Let's go.
Bring it back. All right, I'll bring it back one more time.
Yeah, bring it back. When I was a child, I didn't have much. And it wasn't until I met DJ Be Famous, a.k.a. HANZ SOLO, that I began to really understand my potential. Praise God. To HANZ SOLO. Praise God to
Hands Solo.
Your ass is crazy.
Oh, you want that?
Hands Solo. Hands Solo.
Oh, you didn't want it. You wanted to show your mic. God damn it. Another flex like he's Maury Povich.
Now speaking of equipment, when you do parties and such now, like, are you you just stick to hip hop parties, or like will you do like stepper sets and all that kind of stuff?
Get the fuck out of here.
To be honest,
just say no.
No, I mean, I appreciate all of that music, but right now I truly stay in my lane, because when I lived in LA, stepper music is not a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
house,
a nothing. It's
house,
a nothing. It's
house was not a big thing. House in LA was more techno. So I wasn't familiar with good house music till I moved here and I heard good DJs playing good house music for me to understand.
Okay.
Same with stepper music. You know what I mean? I'm listening to people and I'm like, okay, this is pretty dope. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that because I DJ, like, okay, let me go ahead and jump out the window and I can do that. No. Yeah. I know my lane of like, all right, you know what? Fall back. Everything don't work that way.
Now, when you go and do a show, what are you taking with you?
Lollipops.
First, right.
Like, I mean, it depends, you know what I mean? Because if I go to a show, I need to know what they have, you know what I mean? Because, I require turntables when I go to shows. I don't DJ on little cute controllers or,
cute controllers
or, my little first turntable set. I don't do those. I need turntables because I'm always going to represent the culture more so than what a gadget is, because somebody doesn't really want to bring their equipment.
Say that one more fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
one more fucking time for the motherfuckers that are listening, that will listen, that will come back to this. Listen to what this man just said.
I mean, it's just like anything. When you go to a job, I need the tools for me to do my job. If I'm a mason, a concrete mason, I'm not going to show up with some flex tape and say that, all right, I got you covered. I need the proper tools. So as a DJ, I DJ on turntables. I don't DJ on controllers or CDJs.
You still bring crates?
I haven't done a vinyl set in a long time because a lot of my vinyl got a little messed up when our basement flooded at the previous place where I used to live. But
speaking of floods,
for me, because yes, I'm a DJ, but when I get in front of people, I am an entertainer.
Woo!
I didn't come for you. You can listen to music, anything. You can listen to music in your car, your iPod, and all that. So part of what I do is my skill set, as well as playing the music. I play music, but I play with music.
There you go. No homo.
I know how to manipulate music, beat, things of beat juggling and things of that nature. So I'm not just gonna stand up there and play music. When you go to shows and the house turns the light off on the DJ because you don't need to see him, that's not me. Right. I need you to turn the motherfucking light on.
Right.
They need to see what I'm doing.
Respect the craft. So this leads me to a two-part question. First part, do you ever use any of your music as a soundboard to get a vibe in your sets or blend them into acapellas? The other part is, when did you start feeling comfortable in your beat making process to where you were like, okay, I think I'm good enough to like send people beats and tell them to come through?
I've only used a couple of my beats in intermission sets of shows, probably within the last, well, this is pre-COVID because I haven't really done shit since pre-COVID. So we're gonna say 2 years ago at least.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I use acapellas over my beats is when I'm making them, when I'm imagining who the fuck I want to hear on it.
Word.
I'm very like that part of me is very meticulous because most of the time when I make a beat, I've envisioned a scratch hook that I'm thinking for that. And I've kind of envisioned the story that I want somebody to be on that.
Right.
And if it ain't that, I don't want you on the beat.
Word.
Okay.
And that could be selfish, and I don't care if nobody ever raps on a beat.
Listen, I got beats to this day that motherfuckers have offered me money for, good money, like real good money. And I've heard their skill set. And I was like, no, it's not for sale. That's for me. I have so many of them. And it just amazes me how people don't understand. Like, we take our shit very seriously, just as serious as somebody takes their rap skills. But not everybody can sing, you got people that can sing, then you got people that can sing. You got people that can make beats, and you got producers, and then you got beat makers. That's what I mean. Well, you got DJs, then you got them niggas. You know what I'm saying? You got it. And we have to protect our own shit. I don't want somebody that doesn't fit what I do on a track.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for me because my DJ ear comes back in.
Mm-hmm.
And my DJ ear says, this ain't gonna work.
It was a guy, I made a beat, and the beat is, I love that beat. It's like one of my favorite beats.
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
And he came through with somebody else that I was, doing some shit with. And he wanted to use that beat. So, I sent it to him so he could write to it. And when he came back, he recorded on it and he did a joint. Mm-hmm. And, the joint was okay, but it wasn't what I envisioned.
Right.
So, I was like, well, hey, man, that was okay. But, in order for me to put that out or use that, I'd rather hear a different story on there. He didn't like that. So, later he wanted to buy the beat. So, I told him XYZ, blah, blah, blah. He told me, his manager was going to get at me, blah, blah, blah. all of a sudden, they was like, well, all right, things ain't right or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Hey, we'll get at you next time, which was fine for me. Cause like I said, hey man, look, I didn't really want to give up that beat for what you were going to do.
I got some bangers I've been holding on to these motherfuckers for years. I just haven't heard the right person for them. Because every time I play the motherfuckers go literal nuts.
And
I've had
not to toot my horn, but
no, go ahead. You've been flexing.
I'm just saying, you got some bangers or some heat, no pun intended, but you got some heat when heat is trying to fuck with you late night, telling he wants to smoke with you, and you're like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Oh no, I didn't listen. If you ever took that shit personal, you're crazy.
I didn't. I was like, uh-oh. I done caught Heat's radar. He must.
No, I
liked some of the joints I did, so now he wants.
I'm not going to say no names, but somebody had sparked my attention because things were being said on me and my ability. And what motherfuckers don't know is I have a deep catalog.
Well, I was laughing because I was like, all right, I learned from Heat. All right, I'm on his radar now for some reason. He's this guy. And I'm laughing, though, because like I said, I'm not going to take it personal because, like I said, man, at the end of the day, you're my brother, man. Like,
oh, yeah, all day.
I'm like, all right, the big brother is picking on me now. Like, what does he want, man? Like,
I want all the smoke.
Exactly.
I want all the smoke because to me, nobody's off limits. No disrespect to you because I think you give me a great battle. But I wouldn't be me and I wouldn't be, like we were talking about earlier, competitive if I didn't think I'll smoke HANZ Solo.
Yeah.
I'll smoke his ass. And then I'm sure, and I know this, that you have things in your repertoire where you go, if he think he gonna smoke me, he crazy shit. Fuck his ass.
Like I said,
this one, that one, and then don't make me dig deeper.
And you've been doing it since '88. So would you say
he wasn't making beats since '88?
Being a DJ, but would you say you feel your impact on the game?
Good question.
Somewhat and somewhat no. Like when I lived in LA, in my run, yes. When I moved to Chicago, do I feel an impact? Yes, but I also feel a lot of,
say it.
This is easy for me to say because I love this city to death. But, I don't know why people look at that title as a badge of honor, the city of hate, because people will hate on you. And, for a long time, everybody wanted to refer to me as an outsider. I've lived here for 15 years. I'm a resident. I'm not an outsider. This is half the time, damn near, that I lived in LA. So now I've lived somewhere else another half of my life.
Chicago's a different animal. It's a fickle bitch.
Yeah.
But my thing is, don't hate. Step your shit up.
Thank you. People don't get that though. Like I think, like here in the city, like I don't know what that is. Like that shit is crazy.
And when you come from somewhere else and you come here, and just like he said,
it's even worse.
He got 16 years in this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you come here from somewhere else, and I'm speaking on my behalf, but maybe a little bit about him too. People love you when they first meet you. They go, "Oh shit, this nigga sound different. This is different." But then when they realize, wait a minute, he's now my competition, or he is a threat to what I'm doing.
Here. That's all facets. Everything you have to do with Chicago.
They start acting stupid.
Restaurants, hip hop, art, whatever the fuck it is. I know people that do something in each one of those fields, and there's all types of stories of very same shit.
It's crazy. I opened my studio just like my man's HANZ Solo. Opened his studio. Opened his knowledge and everything to everyone. And in return, what you get from Chicago is shit.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
But that's what you when you're from here, that's what you learn based off of your environment and what you see, growing in the city. Like it's a big ass city. And
whoa. Let's be clear. I'm from different coasts like my man's. I was born in Cali.
Well, yeah, but there's no discredit to where you're from. But I'm saying here,
no. Also raised in New York, so like we tough skin.
But like still, Chicago is just not. I don't know what it's like. You're welcome with open arms, but then when you get here and the people realize, wait a minute, he gonna take away from them 6 coats we got.
See?
Fuck him. And it's I think it's when you're from Chicago, like you have to fight that being a part of you, because you got to fight for, not saying anywhere else you don't have to fight, but for here though, it's like it's the most segregated city.
True.
And you're taught right away. Oh, if you're this, you live here. If you're this, you live here. If you're this, you live here. And when you get older, the only thing you want to do is move outside of your community because you see something better somewhere else. But then when you get inside there, you feel that from the other people. Like, why the fuck are you here? This neighborhood is for us. It's the same thing goes with hip hop. It's like there's enough to go around, but there's not enough to go around.
No,
that was baffling to me. And that was baffling to me at first because, as I said before, when I came back into things, I had a different alias. I was calling myself Be Famous. And then I said, fuck that. Everything was cool when I was Be Famous. People were, because when you Google it, there's nothing there. So I just looked like some fucking new jack.
Right.
The moment I changed my moniker back and you could Google and find out what the fuck I really have done and who I am, things changed.
Okay, I have a question because I remember when you were Be Famous and then you switched to HANZ Solo. And me personally, is you were in a group with some other people that you were dealing with. You don't have to name any names. And I remember you going through the graphic school and everything, and you came up with this logo with the key and all of that. And then there was some kind of falling out.
Yeah, and that was with the rec center. I'll talk about that. Because the rec center.
You don't have to name any names or anything. I mean, those they know.
Yeah, the rec center. They were a staple of hip hop, and they're out of Elgin, and they faced a lot of the same things that everybody faces because they were from the suburbs. So the city didn't really embrace them like that.
Yeah,
even though they were dope as shit. And when I got involved with them, the same thing. One of the dudes worked with my wife, heard I was a DJ, but then when they seen I was dope, they wanted me to DJ for them. I was going to graphic design at the time, and so we were creating a logo, and so like on some Wu-Tang kind of shit, I was like, what if it was a house and each key represented a member, and the logo, the person's name was kind of like a key,
right?
And so we had all these keys.
Because if I remember correctly, this might have been right before you went to HANZ Solo. You guys were using like NFL names or something, but you were switching.
Oh no! That was a project where I brought to you that I was going to start. It was going to be called the Throwbacks, and that featured.
That's right. Oh shit!
Me,
that's right.
T-Man, Audacity, and we were taking sports names and flipping them around. So T-Man was Randall Gunningham, Audacity was Warren Goon, I was Julius Serving. We had Cool Out that was going to be involved. He was going to be Walter Hayton.
Walter Hayton. I love it. I remember that shit now, and I was like, that's dope as fuck.
And,
I remember.
Shadow Master was going to be Sean Hemp.
Shout out to Shadow Master. A lot of people don't give him enough credit for holding Chicago hip hop down, man. Shadow Master.
For some reason, that project just never took life. It was dope as fuck, the idea that it was going to be. Yeah, and
I remember that.
Never took shape.
I knew it was NFL names, and I just couldn't remember them for the life of me.
That's a cool idea.
That shit's still dope. I think motherfuckers should do that. Reach out to some famous motherfuckers and tell them, hey, let's do this. Change your moniker, and we don't even have to have you in the video. You know what I mean? Just to cheat motherfuckers, because nowadays with the internet, you can cheat motherfuckers. Because I've had people say, "Oh, you too old. You just do that. You don't even understand hip hop now or whatever." You know, it doesn't matter if I make a banger. If my face ain't got to be on it, it doesn't matter.
Music transcends all that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Age has shit to do with this.
Yeah.
Same with DJing and everything else. It ain't got shit to do with it. These young kids think they know what they talk about, beats by the pound, but they don't know shit.
That interludes to, like, you know, when you guys were talking about age and DJing. So, you know, in my time here, you know, I've had the pleasure of meeting some dope cats, like I said, you know. One of them was DJ Ambidextrous.
Or shout out to Ambidextrous.
Me and Ambidextrous, we started out good, and then, like I said, you know, a situation where Reverb had kind of posted this video, and what I did was taken out of context, and me and Ambidextrous was kind of in a weird space for a minute because he felt that I said that I was the best, and that isn't what I said. I just said I was gone for 10 years, and I'm better than a lot of people out still.
Hey, and this is why when I say I want the smoke, I try not to do that anymore because people started getting really offended when I was doing that. But the truth of the matter is, as a creative person, you want that energy around you, especially sometimes you get in kind of a little slump. You're like, fuck that. You know what I need? I need a motherfucker to come at me.
Keep you hungry. Keep
you hungry. It's like training. It's like going to training camp or something. You know what I mean? And for myself, me personally, I'm magnificent under pressure. I'll wait to the last day. We had a week to make a beat under the sample. I'll wait to the fucking day of. and because it's just how I am. I love that kind of pressure. Would you say that kind of pressure going into a show and trying something new? Would you say you love that? That's a two-part question. Would you say you love that kind of pressure in the studio when you're working with an artist?
With an artist, I don't ever feel pressure because, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, as a DJ, you're only there to do a specific job. You know what I mean? Right. So I never felt pressure on that. I only felt pressure was, like I said, you know, in the story where I was telling you about Ambidextrous, because I was out of battling for, at that point, almost 10 years.
Right.
And he wanted to battle, you know what I mean?
Ooh,
and my competitive nature wanted to,
yes,
but I'm out at this point in time. I feel out of my element.
Right.
So 2012, me and him both somehow entered this battle in Milwaukee. You know, they said that if we use Serato, you couldn't use cue points, so you couldn't use it. You had to use it in relative mode, which made it like real vinyl,
like real life shit. Yeah.
So
for those that don't know,
when they told us those rules, I used vinyl. I just said, well, fuck it, I might as well just use vinyl. So I took vinyl. And he used Serato, but he used the cue point, so he was disqualified. So I never got to battle him.
Right.
So
isn't that like so typical of Chicago motherfuckers? Because when it comes down to it, the ones that did say they wanted to smoke, when it came down to it, they really, really didn't.
That does happen though.
No, I just don't know. I don't think he read the rule thing.
Come on, man. Let's be real.
Honestly, I don't think he read the rule thing.
For not reading the rules. Shout out to him for if he read the rules. But I think we know when we go into a battle, we're prepared. We're prepared. I'm prepared. Like if a motherfucker said to me, okay, we're gonna be battle, but you can't use nothing from this era, that era, do whatever the fuck. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm cool with whatever the fuck, nigga.
No, I get it.
Sample and you flip it your way, I'll flip it my way. We just do it like that. You can have a week. We can go. You take a week.
He didn't.
In my mind, though, I push the shit to the side because I really, truly love thriving under the pressure. Because under that pressure, I know what I have to do. Because I'm already thinking what this motherfucker is gonna do. So
that was the ironic part of that. the pressure was, like I said, he got disqualified, but at that time, it was some other cats that I was supposed to be building a crew with in Wisconsin and Milwaukee.
Don't say no names.
And I had to battle all of them.
And who came out of the smoke victorious?
And unfortunately, I had to destroy all of them.
Just wait. Yeah, I love how he just, that was put very magnificently. He said, unfortunately, I had, and I can hear you right now in English, in an English voice. Unfortunately, I had to destroy all of them.
Well, the whole thing was going the lollipop.
It's not cocky though. That in an English accent, it's not cocky. You're just like, you really believe that it's very unfortunate.
That's the only option you had. Damn.
For the young lads that I had to battle.
Unfortunately,
it's very unfortunate.
Everything was going the lollipop and the whole nine. So it was just.
I had my lollipop.
It just wasn't a good thing. But at the end of that, me and Ambidextrous got really closer because he said he gave me my props. He just told me, the best DJ in Milwaukee is from Chicago, because that's how kind of we set it off. And that, meant something to me that he was acknowledging me from the city now. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you. And I kind of know the answer to this question, but I don't know your answer because I know what this answer is going to feel like. Do you think it's two parts once again? Do you think you made a real contribution to Chicago underground hip hop? And do you think that people recognize you as one of those guys who really helped Chicago hip hop?
And you truly feel it?
I truly believe that I did contribute. Things that I did, I used to be a part of Chirac Nation,
Ooh, shout out to Chirac Nation. I know what I mean. Okay.
Hecko Fresh, who passed away, rest in peace to Heck, who ran chapter 4, blessed me into his chapter. When Heck passed away, I was summoned to make this intro for Power Star Radio. And at the time I used to be a part of Power Star Radio with Kid Jungle and Most Definite and Illinois.
That's the radio station that's out there by it's out south. It's by the museum.
It was at Q4. It used to be at Q4.
Yeah.
Okay, so
done shows.
I did that, and then in the process of doing that, I took one of my Serato vinyls, and they had a thing at Sub T, and I had there were so many Chirac members. They just signed this record, and I gave it to Mine One, who was Heck's fiance at the time. And then let's flash forward 2016. Like I said, at this point in time, I'm really respecting the work that Ambidextrous and Toltec are doing for the city of Chicago in the DMC world. So Chicago hadn't had a DMC in over 10 years. 2016, the DMC comes to Chicago.
I remember when they came to Chicago. I remember that.
I entered that DMC.
I remember
17 years after my last DMC battle.
Wait. Shout out to Be Famous, aka motherfucking Hanz Solo. This guy, if he's not, I feel like he's beating around the bush. I feel like he's beating. Man, give yourself the credit that is due to you, because if you don't, I'm going to interrupt you and I'm going to tell you what you mean.
That's true persistence and dedication right there.
Yeah.
Come on, man. There were legends, Pumpin' Pete, Bad Boy Bill, that these people established themselves in the DMC for Chicago.
Right.
And, for a major city to not have a DMC regional in so long made me feel a type of way. Me being a resident of this city, I felt it as my obligation to help and say, you know what? This ain't, hey man, I'm an old dinosaur, but hey, look, I'm an inner man.
Stop playing. Don't call yourself a dinosaur, because then what am I?
What I'm saying is, there's a lot of cutesy DJs out here that, they online, they talk and they're dope and they do all of this, but you didn't show up when it mattered for your city.
Right. And you showed up to a city that you adopted.
And and going into it.
Shout out to a motherfucker like you, because I told you, man, if you don't fucking start really speaking your truth, I'm gonna say it for you. Shout out to HANZ SOLO. So put the city on his back when it mattered.
Well, I wasn't the only one. Toe Tech was in it too. And there was a couple of other DJs that were from the city, but there was a lot of out of town cats. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in short, there was like, I think 17 or 18 DJs, and my wife had never seen me battle before because, like I said, that life was a long time ago before we ever met.
Right.
So she was there, and I put this routine together. I had worked on it, and I made it to the top 6 out of those. So, I didn't end up winning the battle, but I felt it important because, like I said, the next year they held the DMC here. Not it, I think one or two DJs from Chicago entered.
Oh wow!
The following year they didn't have it anymore.
See, the city's participation is so crucial.
That's critical because when you go to cities like LA or New York, man, you got to beat them off with a stick to get them from not entering.
Yeah.
You're talking about 25 to 30 people entering.
That's another thing. Like, people will tell you they support you and they might like your shit on Instagram or whatever, but to get people to actually really truly come and show up, it's I don't know what it is about Chicago.
Yeah, and I can attest to that too. And this goes to another question: how hard it is. Why don't you express how hard it is, not only to make your footprint in this fucking city is hard enough as it is. And when you do, and then all of a sudden your studio only, and this is what I feel, only because myself personally, I'm focused on what I'm doing. And then motherfuckers come in and they go, oh shit, wait a minute. How, like, they look at me like, how in the fuck did you get all this equipment? How in the fuck are you doing shit that I've been trying to do forever in this city? And that is one of the biggest hating points, is like, motherfuckers don't understand the grind and the hustle.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't have to do it if you're gonna do it, nigga. You get up, you grind, you fucking do your shit. You call people, you make fucking, you know what I'm saying? Because people couldn't understand where I came out of nowhere and hit this motherfucker.
We alluded to this the other day when I was talking to you. Okay. Yeah. So in this streaming game, I was like one of the first motherfuckers on this. I used to stream on YouTube, live stream. I used to have a DJ show where I would go to other people's crib and DJ with them and stream. A couple years ago, before the pandemic, myself, Jory, and Audacity, because we brought it was me and Jory, then we brought Audacity in. But
shout out to Waffle Gang and Audacity.
I created it was kind of a podcast, but it was a show. But we created Red Cup Radio. And I
was gonna go to Red Cup right after you're done, but we'll get to that.
Red Cup Radio was like Rap City, because in my mind, I said there's a void in music of things that can happen. So when I bought my crib, the first thing I used to do is now, hold on, I'm panning the camera so you can see now, but there's a green screen back there now. No, the story is that wall used to get painted every year. I've lived here 7 years. That wall used to get painted every year by a different graph artist. And it was in tribute because when I went to New York, I was told that every year a different graph artist repaints the Big Pun mural. So I was like, damn, that's dope. I want to do something like that. So I was like, hey, fuck, I own the crib. Yeah, I'm gonna have a different graph artist. So I would search out an artist to paint the wall. Then, like in my basement, I have these saloon doors like a Western movie, but it leads into the bar.
That's like, I'm pretty sure that's like the symphony.
Yeah. So it became the Red Cup room. And what we did was we put a camera in there and the mic. So when we started doing the show, all we played was anybody's music that was underground. So it didn't matter what state you lived in, but just local hip hop. And if you were local here, we brought you on the show. We interviewed you, and then you went in the Red Cup room like on Rap City when they went in the booth.
Right.
And you freestyled and you rapped. And we gave you, all the bells and whistles. I don't know. Somewhere along the line,
I tuned into a few of those. I tuned into a lot of your stuff. I try to send likes and do whatever. You know what I mean? I my support to me sometimes is from arm's distance, but I'm there and I'm watching and I'm a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
So, I took it upon myself. I had made a mixtape of like the best joints that we had that people submitted from the show. We threw a show at Sub T where we gave out a Red Cup trophy for the person with the most views from their freestyle, which was Maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And this was supposed to be an ongoing thing. And to this day, I truly don't know what happened. Why?
I'm going to tell you what happened. Your Ariesness scared people. It takes a certain type of individual to deal with an Aries because we have to be like saying shit, doing shit. And, and shout out to my co-host and the engineer for allowing me a lot of times just to be venting and doing shit, saying off the wall ass shit. But there's a lot to it.
Heat gonna heat. That's for sure.
Heat's gonna heat. You know what I'm saying?
But
Han Solo gonna Han Solo.
Heat, you couldn't ask for a better platform, man. Like, you know what I mean?
But
like,
I mean,
if we were doing was so advanced and ahead of its time, it was crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I like that Red Cup, that concept. It
would have been doper if they would have invited me. But
I mean, we had lanyards and they had red cups, like shot glasses attached to them. Like we had Red Cup armbands.
Because this guy's a true hustler.
Like it was dope.
He tells me about the Red Cup shit. This is before the Red Cup show. This is like
because I used to go to Heat's house with red cups and on
the bottom of the cup says Solo.
Ironically, yeah, they were Solo cups. Like, but even when I did it, like when I made the "I'll Make You Famous" album, I took red cups and I had stickers made that was a download code for you to download the album.
The Red Cup t-shirts.
That's what's up.
And yeah, the Red Cup shirts, like it was a movement.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, once again, like you said, I don't know what reared its head because I never looked at it as mine. I looked at it as ours, you know what I mean? Because we were all creatively inputting ideas, you know what I mean?
Low-key went through a learning process of sorts of someone that will not be named.
I was just about to say we didn't go through shit, but okay.
But the truth of the matter is what happened. Like there was I wouldn't say a shift of power or anything like that. I had made a comment about something that was being said on the show, and this person took it way out of context, to the extreme. And not only did he do that, it was an embarrassment for like especially I was really just getting started in the podcasting and everything and understanding like positions and who's what and understanding, you know what I mean? And I had a conversation with him and I had said, listen, man, don't you understand we're characters? I'm not going on there saying my government name. Najvino is not saying her government name. And for God's sake, you're going by Good King. What the fuck? So the character that I am on the show is not who I am as a person inside and all that. So this is never an attack on anyone or trying to be brawny about it like, oh, it's all me. Fuck y'all. Never was the intent. But that person apparently could not get over it. But it's like, to me, it's like, it's a balance of power. You know what I mean? I don't have all the power. My show wouldn't be shit right now if it wasn't for this woman right here. And the idea was mine to bring a woman in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Red Cup started out. Red Cup was my brainchild, and it went through many phases because at one point we had the show, we were doing it at Q4, and it was like, I looked at it like WGN. So Jory was the weatherman, Shadow was on sports, and then we used to have two co-hosts of Miss V and Madam President, and they were like Molly or Joy Taylor or whatever, like when you watch those shows, you know, to kind of keep us balanced from not just straying off the wagon.
Right.
And, you know, we didn't like the situation at Q4, so that left. And when we wanted to redo it, everybody wasn't, well, a situation happened between two people, and that wasn't good.
Always a situation. It's always a situation.
We wanted to reboot it. It wasn't, everybody wasn't on board. So me and Jory got on board. And then Audacity came on because we were interviewing him, and he was like, man, I should be a part of this. And, you know, I like Audacity's personality. He's hilarious. He's an hilarious guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's a lot of fun. So we bring him in. And I don't, like I said, I really don't know, because everything was an idea, and all I ever suggested was.
Wait. Here's the thing that I do know. You fucking know. You just don't want to say it. You want to. You. That's the truth. You know, but you know that in order for you to tell that story correctly, somebody's name has to be said. Something has to. You know what I mean? It's not elastic as you think.
No, honestly, I don't know. You know, because we all sat down and talked about it, and I said, hey man,
somebody lied in that sit down.
I was like, collectively, we need to do more shows or sell merch. I said, we got to put money into this. I said, you know what I mean? Because I can't keep buying
to the nitty gritty.
I was like, I can't. Well, because, you know, when you go in the Red Cup room, that's the bar, and everybody's drinking up all the liquor.
Money.
But it's costing me money. And it's costing my wife money, because, you know, our money is together. So my money is her money. And so, you know, I want you to come over and feel at home and have a good time, but I can't keep replenishing liquor that everybody else is drinking up, because I don't drink in this bar downstairs. Like, you know, the stash that I drink out of is upstairs.
The good shit.
Yeah.
He can't. Let me tell you about this hustler. He comes to my studio and he's got, you know, the little juice cups. He went out and bought the machine and everything and had his own drinks. This is before motherfucking COVID. This is before people started making drinks and delivering them to their house. The nigga came over my crib. He had like 50 of them motherfuckers. And he's like, I'm about to start selling these.
Hey, look, I can't take credit for that. That was a New York hustle I learned. That it was when I went to New York Park Jam. It was some dudes out there, and they were called nutcrackers they were selling, and it was those.
And I think he might have called them nutcrackers. But here's the thing. They look like juice, but he made them because, let's be very clear, Han Solo loves his liquor. Like I
had Grape Ape. Let's see. Mine were called Grape Ape.
Here we go. The grape joints were my favorite, by the way.
The lemon, it was a lemon one, an apple
all
one.
The colors,
I forgot what they were called. But the Grape Ape was crazy.
Were the perfect blend. The grape ones felt like they had the biggest hit.
Because at that time, Pucker made vodka, so it was grape Pucker vodka with white grape juice.
Let me tell you how much I took advantage. I was like, nigga, you coming tomorrow? He's like, yeah. I was like, bring some of them your digs. After a little while, he's like, hey, bro. He went from bringing like 50 of them to like 10 to like 5 to like 2. He's like, here you go. I'm like, the fuck? Damn, nigga. I know you got
going to Heat's house. Me and Heat would, you know, because I heard him bring this up in his other story. Me and Heat would jump in the car and go down the block to the liquor store and get some
that-
New Amsterdam. And at that time, I was drinking those pure juices because they got a watermelon peach that's the bomb. And
Listen,
that was my joint.
We'd get fucked up, and a lot of times he came in the daytime. He didn't come too much at night, but he'd come in the daytime. We would just be me
because my truck would be like detrimental to me over there.
Right, yeah. And we'd be in that motherfucker by noon.
Fucked up.
Fucked up. We in there pounding. I'm all like, hit it like this. Do this. No, cut it this way. Chop it that way. Do we need to go to the liquor store again? But it was to me, like a lot of people came to my studio and they drank because like you said, the liquor was always there.
Yeah.
But the one thing I loved about you did it. You always came with something, or we went like I'd buy a bottle, you'd buy a bottle, but it was never a thing like, damn, this nigga's over here just drinking up. Except for when you stopped bringing them juicy drinks to the studio. Like,
hey man, I stopped doing that because I thought I was gonna get caught up by the police or something. Like,
no. You realize is I was drinking them motherfuckers, and you're like, this is fucking with my profit margin.
Nah, like I said, I was like, I don't need no trouble.
Bringing like 50 of them bitches, walking in like you
have them in my backpack.
Corner store to like a handful to like a couple. There you go, Heat. I'm like, the fuck I'm supposed to do with these? What happened to all the other ones? All the other flavor? How come I don't have the rainbow?
Hey, here you go, Heat. Watch this. Hey man, yeah. Shout out to Red Cup Radio.
Red Cup Radio. See, my man's this is one thing that I really truly love about you, man. Every time I turn around, you found a new hustle. But let's talk about something that people don't talk about. What you do, you and your wife, school supplies, jackets, out in the hood, doing your thing, taking donations. And I remember the first time I saw you guys doing that. I remember liking it and everything, but I remember feeling. It had me feeling some kind of way because I was like, fuck, this cocksucking ass son of a bitch beat me to the point. But not only that, is like, I just felt like, fuck, how come I'm not doing something? And that's a beautiful thing when you can do something heartless. You know what I mean?
Because, so, in listening to other interviews with people, you know what I mean, that have been on your show, a lot of people be like, oh man, people floss and show all the shit they got, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say right now, you know what? Yes, the fuck I do. Yes, the fuck I do own nice cars. Yes, the fuck I do own a lot of shoes. Yes, I do own a lot of turntables. Because you know what? Growing up as a shorty, I didn't have all that. I'm a grown-ass man now, and I could buy all that myself. So guess what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go buy all the shoes that I couldn't buy as a kid that everybody else had.
Man.
Say again.
But at the same time,
it comes hard work, determination.
At the same time, like you said. So what leads me to that is I never forget, though, that there's people out there without. So what started the coat thing was, I moved here, man. I wasn't used to weather like this.
Right.
And, shout out to LA Fashion, which is located on Belmont and Pulaski. I would go there and I would see these little jackets. They were like, they were the abstract colors that nobody really bought. And they were selling them for $10. So me and my wife went and bought all of them. We spent like $500. Bought all the coats, all the sizes. And then we took them to the homeless shelter and donated them.
Shout out to Mrs. HANZ Solo.
So hopefully that helps some people. You know what I mean? Because at first I was like, well, let's put them in the car. We could drive around and find people. And I was like, you know what? That's not going to be effective.
What he graduated to. Now he got boxes that say extra large.
Well, no, the lady after we did it like 3 years, and she was, now she donates a couple in there too. So the numbers went up, but she just gives us the whole box now as they get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he's getting it straight from the goddamn plug.
That's what's up.
And going out there.
But like you said, it felt good to know that, my life is blessed, but you know, hopefully somebody else's is too. You know what I mean? By this small gesture.
Right. And by you doing that small gesture, you encourage somebody else to do that in an even bigger gesture.
And
that's
no doubt, because a couple of times I put up, if somebody wanted to, because the coats were $10. So like I said, all you had to do was, hey, cash app me $10 or throw me $10 when you see me, and that buys one coat for somebody. I don't need you to give me $100 nothing. If you just want to do one coat, just throw me $10 and we're good.
Yeah.
And hopefully, that just gets somebody else a coat that's in need.
Yeah.
And, we weren't able to do that, due to the pandemic for the last 2 years. So,
you're gonna get back on it, right?
We'll do it again.
You got my word. You got my word. Let me know when you start back up, myself or Nashvino, let us know, and the engineer. We don't know how we're going to get his information, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when we're doing it again.
Yeah, and let's figure out a way, man, because I'm all about that shit. And I grew up, my family on my mother's side is all about that. It has been for many, many, many years. That's how I met Nightwalker. That's another story. But and my wife's family, her mom is an advocate, a goddamn, she's on the front lines, man, of everything and anything happening that is about indigenous people and any person of color or melanin. She's on the front lines, man, and she won believe it or not, just during the pandemic, she won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh shit,
bananas, bro. So I'm totally into that. I've been into that kind of shit. Excuse my language. It's not shit. I've been into those things myself, also with my wife and our kids. Like on Christmas and shit, we went to homeless shelters and fed the homeless, and just showing my kids also too that there's unfortunate situations for other people. Not everybody has the privilege of having a roof, just a fucking roof.
Yes,
exactly. And if you grew up in hip hop, then you understand this. When I lived in LA, man, there was plenty of times where I didn't have a place to live.
Right.
One time, me and my little high school girlfriend broke up. I didn't have a place to live, and where I ended up living was with the Soul Brothers. If you've ever heard of the Soul Brothers, they used to be the dancers for Def Jeff.
Yep.
And things get a little sketchy in these situations.
Yeah.
One of them took my tape deck. I went to San Francisco. He took my tape deck to the pawn shop. You know what I mean? Like,
damn.
And these are the situations you live in. A couple of times to make rent work, I had to take my turntables to the pawn shop, and now I'm just hoping that I can get the money to get my turntables back.
Oh, trust me, I've been through those moments and times, man. But that's part of the struggle. That's part of all of this shit that a lot of people don't really get. They don't understand. And then when you get to talking about it, sometimes they go, oh, yeah. You sound like so-and-so. Yeah, I heard this story. But they don't understand the real struggle. And this goes and alludes back to the time, the effort, the discipline that people don't understand. These are nights, days alone, room shut off to the world, no radio, no nothing, honing your craft and honing who you are, and imagining accepting awards. And like, people don't get that that's a real fucking thing, because you have to, and if you don't really know it in yourself and you don't understand, you have to envision it.
And you know what's weird is when some of those things start to come into fruition, like I said, if your circle isn't correct, it gets out of hand. Like I said, at the time when I was making my moves through Hollywood, I'm hanging out with people like Razcast and Exhibit. When I first met Exhibit, he was roommates with this other cat that I started DJ for named Aleem. And ironically, Exhibit's girl at the time was my he's not my real brother, but he might as well be. He's like my friend Sean's brother, but it used to be his ex-girlfriend, you know what I mean? And then me and Aleem get an apartment. You know, I'm DJing in all these spots in LA, and at this time I'm meeting and DJing background for people like Wu-Tang and all these people that are just coming up as artists. Because at those times they were doing promo tours, so they're just in fucking any club. You know what I mean?
I remember getting when Biggie Smalls was just coming out, they had a promo tour, and I was a part of, like, somehow I don't remember exactly how I fucking, you know, because LA is that kind of place, and I was living in LA at the time. You just find yourself in a position, boom, you go with it. Next, you know, you're shaking people's hands and doing shit. You know, LA is a really crazy place like that. And I remember, I don't know if it was Diddy, Biggie, or Craig Mack, but they had a promotional thing where it said Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Biggie, they were just coming out.
Yeah, it was in a Big Mac thing, and it said Big Mac, and it said Bad Boy on it. And when you open it up, it's either a tape or a CD in that bitch.
So,
and
ironically,
and everything, I had a bunch of those motherfuckers.
That
man,
was that original rollout.
And the crazy thing, when I'm hearing you tell stories and shit, and you're just talking about your come up and everything. But a lot of times when I'm sitting here and I'm talking with my co-host, and I go, oh, that just reminds me of a story, and we get to a point in this whole shit that we do where and this is, you're gonna understand it. We get to a point where we're telling stories, and people kind of look at us and go, you wasn't really with Snoop. You wasn't. Yeah. How come it ain't on the internet? You know what I mean? Like, everybody thinks everything should be on the internet. I do have some things that eventually I'm sure I'm going to find them on the internet, just like I found me breakdancing at a big breakdancing show in California. And
shit.
I found it. It took years, like when YouTube came out, it took years for me to find it. Somebody finally posted it, because we know, especially in the music industry, when you get into this, eventually somebody's going to have a camera somewhere at some point, because that's just how technology was going. People had video cameras and shit. I've been in the studio with Snoop. I've been in the studio with Daz and Corrupt. I'm in there. I know. I seen the camera. I was there. The camera was pointing at me. I was there for a lot of shit.
They used to record every fucking thing.
They recorded everything. It's just a matter of time before these things show up. But the stories, because, Razkaz and Exhibit, and people go, right.
Well, okay.
I'm sure you did, Mr. HANZ SOLO.
Let me give you some true stories. Okay. There used to be this place.
I'm not saying I don't believe you, because I know I have a million stories like that.
No.
And I know that if you're really in this game, these things are going to happen. You're going to find yourself somewhere. You're going to be over here. And one thing that I tell people, if you're a true creator and you're a true musician and you really love your craft and you really love what you're doing, you could pull up in Alaska.
All right, here, I'm going to give you two true stories right now.
It'll fucking find you.
I'll give you two true stories right now that are factual that you can do, right? Okay, the first one will be my first time I laid scratches in a studio. I was living in Hollywood, and all right, here's two stories. Me and Jinx got in a fight at this place called Carlos and Charlie's.
First of all, we talking about Jinx, Jinx,
the producer, Ice Cube's DJ.
Yeah, Lynch Mob.
Yeah. So me and him getting this fight at this club.
Tall, lanky ass nigga.
Yeah, and
big nose ass nigga.
Bobcat ends up, bailing me out of the situation, because me, at that time,
helped me sign my first contract.
Me and Bobcat are good. He was like my mentor at that time. You know what I mean? I finally got to meet somebody. But at this time, Cliff Love is hanging out with me. If you don't know who Cliff Love is, he used to be a dancer for Nice and Smooth. He used to hang out at our apartment. So I'm in my apartment DJing. I'm down there practicing, like you said.
Yeah.
I get a knock on the door. I open the door. It's fucking Doodlebug from Diggable Planets.
Shut the fuck up out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to you, Heat. Look.
No, trust me. I believe you. You don't have to swear at me. I believe you, because I know how this shit works, especially in LA.
He was asking me, was that me down there scratching and so forth? So I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, man, would you mind doing some scratching for me for my artist? His artist lived upstairs right above me. So, I'm kind of in awe. I'm like, oh, shit, it's Doodlebug.
Right.
I mean, but you know, at that time he was calling himself C Knowledge, you know.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, what, yeah, where? So it was a studio down the street from us on Hollywood Boulevard. Now, here's where things get fucked up when you don't know what you're doing in the music industry.
Say that again. When you don't know what you're doing in the music.
Yeah. So my ass goes to the studio. We're smoking weed. I'm not thinking about no money, no paperwork. Where is Ladybug? Hey man, what's Ladybug up to, man?
But at that time, everybody wanted Ladybug.
Yeah, I wanted to shoot my shot. I figured.
Yeah. Almost.
I figured because you know she was on some solo shit too. So I'm thinking in my mind, yeah, man, I should be her DJ. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So
you gotta think big, man. Fuck it. If I start fucking her, I might as well be her DJ.
Terrible.
That's
exactly.
Isn't that a transition?
I mean,
so his artist was named Ugo. So I laid the scratches for this song. It was called Straight from the Heart. You could Google it on YouTube. It's called Straight from the Heart.
Relax. We believe you.
His name is Ugo. I laid the cuts on this record. I didn't make the video shoot because I didn't have a car. My man was supposed to bring me, and he had some other bullshit that happened. I don't make the video shoot. When I finally hear the final of the song, at the end of the song, this motherfucker says Funk Master Flex.
Shut your hole. And what were you calling yourself at that time?
I was Han Solo. And they knew this. But like you said, see, like I told you, this is where, you know, you don't have your paperwork and so forth correct. So there's nothing that I could do. You know what I mean? There's nothing that shows that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now here's fact number 2 for you. I'm gonna show you something, right?
Listen, I gotta tell you something. We at 2 hours and 26 minutes. Our show has never went this long with one person and really talking and really getting deep into some shit. Like you just broke the record.
Hey man, I'm gonna show you some shit now, right? You remember how you was talking about Biggie? So the night that Biggie got killed, my sister was supposed to be with Biggie, right? Because my sister sings, and Biggie was looking for talent, so she had been hanging out with them periodically during the week, right? Mm-hmm. So he was staying in Beverly Hills. I had dropped my sister off over there because they was going somewhere, so I dropped her off there, right?
At the Audubon?
At the Beverly Hills Hotel. That's what it was.
Ooh, you know how many people I ran into the Beverly Hills Hotel? And,
so Little C's opens the door, right? So Big gives me 20 for gas. And he also gives me this right here. You see it? It says Brooklyn Mint. If you look up, Brooklyn Mint was about to be Big's clothing line.
Yeah.
It's a lanyard. So Big gave me that.
You just slow down your flexes just a little bit.
Man, that's some.
Because I'm over here thinking, oh shit, I got a story.
Priceless shit right
I got
there.
a story I could top. And the only one I have is an embarrassing story, but it is with somebody who was famous at the time.
Well, my next one involves.
I was gonna say it, but thank you. Stop.
Raphael Sadiq and Ali Muhammad.
Okay, that's it. This is the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in. Come on, bro. I knew this was gonna happen. See, now I gotta flex.
Hey man, look, I got invited to the studio because they wanted me to lay some sounds when they were recording Lucy's Pearl.
Oh, look at you, part of Lucy Pearl.
So that was a decent project right there. I love that.
And so I also and then Muhammad needed my record for something else. So my Tribe 12-inch of Electric Relaxation is signed by him. And he told me what the hook says. Do you know what the hook says in Electric Relaxation?
Of course.
What does it say?
Oh, both y'all gonna shoot at me right now? Pew, pew, pew. Listen, yeah, I know it.
What is it?
What does the hook say?
Hold on, let me think of the song.
Do, honey, you got my eyes, mesmerized, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. Blah 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 was not part of the song. Yeah. You know I know. Shut up. I fucking know. I'm just trying to, because isn't it Faith Evans singing the hook?
No, that's Stressed Out.
Yeah. See. Stop fucking with me. I'm thinking. You know what?
I'm gonna look at the wall.
I'm gonna concede. Tell us and tell the world.
What the hook says, relax yourself, girl. Please settle down.
Say what?
The hook says, relax yourself, girl. Please settle down.
Relax your mind. Yeah, of course. I know that shit.
Of course you did.
Sure you did.
No, I always thought he said, relax. When he goes,
I know you did. I know you thought like most of us.
I didn't, because now that I'm thinking about the song, I'm trying to think like how because now that you told me,
relax yourself, something clear.
Yeah. It says, relax yourself, girl. Please settle down.
No. Relax. I'm telling you what the fuck I sang for years. Relax yourself.
When you go listen to it now, listen to the.
No. It's already fucked up. It's already fucked up how I thought of it already.
And then
that's enough flexing for you, sir.
You know, the other time in 2010, I auditioned for the Master of the Mix, in Detroit. And then, I encountered Kid Capri.
Kid Capri, listen, I know people that know him, and I'm gonna say,
oh shit,
he's a fucking creep.
I mean, he's bad cool with me. Like, you know what I mean? You heard my name before.
On some shit, he's the type, like, you cannot leave your bitch around him or whatever because he's trying to take her to his room on some real creepy shit.
I didn't have that.
That's his thing. We all have things. Some people like being tied up. Don't tie me up, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Some people like
we can't have a show
things,
unless they go far left.
Pegging or whatever the fuck.
About the time I
didn't even know what the fuck that was. Some girl had said that shit to me. She's like, "Are you into pegging?" I was like, "I don't even know what that is."
Like, who just asked somebody if they into that? Like, okay.
Well, we were talking about sex and shit, and she's like, "You into pegging?" Because I'm really into that, and I was like, "I don't know what the fuck that is." She's like, "Maybe you should look it up." And I looked it up. I was like, "Hell no, bitch! I ain't into none of that. None the fuck of that. Who in the fuck and what?" Nah, we never talked again. Because first of all, I feel like that's a trick. And she's into it that hardcore that somehow she's learned to trick niggas into doing it.
I mean,
I'm not finna get tricked. No way. You're not gonna be behind me with a strap on, letting me have it because you're getting off and I'm being raped.
Heat.
What? Oh, yeah. So yeah.
Hey man, Heat.
What's up?
You want me to tell you about the 2 times I had Hove mad too?
Hove? Listen. We are running out of time. We are completely running out.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask you to repeat what you said.
No, yeah, he said Hove, but we're not talking. No, I mean, we know he knows Hove.
Hey, I'll pick up all this shit and turn the table over.
Not the new Hove. I mean, when he first started Hove.
Whatever you got. Just whatever you got.
Jay-Z.
Are you don't?
Hey, look. Honestly, look. I lived in San Francisco at the time. This is when Reasonable Doubt was coming out, right? So nobody really knew who Jay-Z was. We was at this spot called 181.
First of all,
shut up.
What do you mean nobody knew who Jay-Z was?
I mean, there was a time.
Who was that?
Hey, when Reasonable Doubt was coming out, nobody really knew who Jay-Z was.
There was a time.
That would put you. Let me see how old that would put you, because that would mean this is when he was with
he was on Rockefeller.
Jay-Z.
No, he's after that. Reasonable Doubt. If you
Reasonable Doubt
this story just one more time,
you act like he talking about Beats by the Pound.
It doesn't matter. Don't play with me. Carry on.
No, we at this spot called 181, right? So, at this time, my name got a little weight in San Francisco. So we go, me and my peeps go to 181. I'm like 30 deep, right? But we go into 181. We're not there to see Jay-Z. We there to see Smooth the Hustler, and it was Pam the Funkstress, rest in peace. It was her birthday from the Coop.
Oh, I remember her.
This nigga Jay-Z was at the bar looking lonely as shit. Me and my people was in the bar buying the bar the fuck up.
Oh, you didn't have to say that, did you? Really? Hove?
Hey man, we wasn't there to see him. We was there to see
Everybody
Food
had
Hustler.
a time when they was at the bar lowly as fuck. I mean, you know.
I've never had. Actually, I have. Yeah, you're right.
The next time I bump into him, I'm at this place called Unity in LA, and it's him and Dame, right? So Dame was trying to holler at this one chick, and I was talking to her friend, and so Dame and Jay was getting ready to try to leave, and they, the one chick is gonna go with Dame, and they tried to call the other chick. And I looked over at Hove and gave the head nod as I turned my back with the chick and walked the other way.
See, flex.
Hey, see, hey man, I'm a 10 in any room, man. I hold my own.
Whoa, calm down, killer.
Hey, put that story in the box with that Biggie lanyard, because that right there is also priceless.
I got a story. You ain't never messed around with an Oscar award winner. Okay.
Oh, well, shit.
Okay.
You want to tell us about it?
Not really, but okay. Anyways, in LA, when you live in those kind of apartment buildings, I was living in these condos, and there was artists everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man,
and especially
typical apartment in LA.
Yeah, typical shit. And especially an apartment complex with a good pool. So in the summertime, everybody's at the pool. And there was this chick. I really don't remember her name, but you'll remember her from the movie Color Purple. No, it wasn't
Whoopi Goldberg.
No, nigga, I wasn't getting that Whoopi Goldberg. Oprah? It wasn't Oprah. No, I wish. Because Stedman would have lost his job. I'm just saying. So anyway, she was the one that played the young Celie.
Oh, okay.
The real pretty girl with the long hair.
Yeah.
And not Celie, she played her sister, the one who went out of the country and shit. The one that ran away.
Mm-hmm.
This bitch used to be at the pool every day in that bikini, and she was built like a goddamn goddess. And I'm at her every day. And now, mind you, there's rappers and producers and Bobcat. That's how I met Bobcat. Bobcat used to be at this group's house that got signed to Motown, a group called Sultry. And he used to be there making beats. They had like Lynn drum machines, all that shit back in there. And that's why I said Bobcat helped me with my first contract as far as a producer. But anyways, that summer, like every summer beat on it. And she wouldn't talk to nobody. Towards the end of the summer, this bitch decides to talk to me. I'm in Mac mode, but I'm drinking. We got so much alcohol at the pool, and everybody's doing. She's finally talking to me. I'm like, yeah, shit, yeah. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? I'm so drunk that I don't even know I'm drunk.
That's never good.
She invites me to her crib. It's just me and her. I'm like, I'm about to, I'm on her couch. I'm leaning back. I'm on some, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I know it's going down. The vibes is there. And I'm like, shit, I'm about to fuck a color purple girl. But at this point, when we finally get to her crib, I gotta pee so motherfucking bad. I can't hold it. I can't keep macking like this. Shit. Every time I'm shaking my hand and trying to, I'm about to fucking let go. So can I use your restroom, buddy? She's like, oh yeah, that door, turn right. I go in the bathroom. I'm so geeked out for this bitch. I unzip my pants, but I forget to pull my shit out, and I'm sitting there pissing. Now, mind you, her bathroom is immaculate, nigga. The towels, everything is in place, and when I realize that I have just pissed all over myself, it's too late.
Wow.
I pull my shirt out. Now I'm peeing all over her fucking bathroom because it's all this liquor and shit. I can't hold it. I'm peeing all over the toilet, the fucking sink, shit.
That's a lot of pee.
It's a lot. It was a lot. By the time I get done, I don't know how long I was in there. I'm like, okay, what to do?
Rip the pipe out.
First of all, she's got all these. Her bathroom everything was white. This is the 90s, this early 90s. Everything in her apartment was white couches, white shag floor, fucking like holy shit. You can't touch nothing in here dirty. I'm in there. I'm full of piss. I'm drunk. I'm like, I can pull this off though. I can do it. Toilet paper. I clean up all the pee. And I took one of her towels, and I'm thinking if I press the pants
just
enough, that it's gonna go away. I'm in the bathroom now, 10, 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure she thought I was taking a shit or something. I think I got it under control now. Not only are her towels in her bathroom, they're put back in order, but they're yellow. They're yellow. Hey, listen, I decided to come out of the bathroom sideways. Like I'm on Soul Train or some shit. So I come out of the bathroom sideways because I don't want to see her the front of my fucking pants. But I forgot about the back. Because, I mean, when I say I pissed everything out, that shit was over with. So I come out sideways and I go to sit down and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So, and she's like, I think you should just fucking leave. And I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I thought, now I forgot. I'm standing there. She's sitting on her couch looking at me like, get the fuck. And I'm standing in front of her, probably 3 feet away with
just pissy
Jabbar's jeans back then.
Jabos, man.
Jabos. I'm fucking, these motherfuckers are literally still dripping on her white shag carpet. And I walked out and she never spoke to me again.
That's terrible.
That was the saddest story I've ever heard.
I don't mind telling it because it's like one of the most embarrassing things ever because I could have fucked the Color Purple girl. But instead I decided to pee my pants and fuck it all up. But yeah, so you never got that close to an Oscar.
Hey man. Hey, when I was in high school.
That's a very true story. Very true story.
When I was in high school, I could have dated Shanice Wilson.
Oh, come on. See, this guy got it. What? He's a one-upper.
I love you.
I didn't know who she was, though.
Yes, man. Yeah.
I could have been Flex. I could have been Flex before Flex.
Jesus Christ. How much more time you got to flex? Shit, we damn near for a minute. We damn near 3 hours into it. And I said to you, I guess this was going to be. We're gonna have to do a part 2 because we 2 hours and 41 motherfucking minutes into it. And I'm gonna tell you something. It has been great. It has been interesting. And I know that there's more to unpack.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta let this man flex.
Yeah.
We gotta let him flex.
Like I said, it's all fun and
it's over there back behind, and he ain't even open that one because it's back over there where we can't see behind the 9,000 turntables that he has.
We were done with the banquet table of mixers and turntables, but then you show us the Biggie lanyard. And I mean, no.
So let's will you commit to a part 2?
Oh, here, hold on a minute. Hold on. Here.
Oh shit! Here we go. Another flex.
This nigga, he got the hyperbaric chamber that Michael Jackson used to sleep in.
Some shit like that. He's gonna bring them shoes from fucking Back to the Future.
He got Michael Jordan's kneecaps, all type of shit.
Yeah. Nah, he's got fucking Derrick Rose's fucking ACL, and he's gonna pull it out. It's gonna be in a little plastic bag. It's gonna be dehydrated, and he's gonna be this is. And it's signed because I was at the hospital. Just so happened that my girl was next door getting a toe surgery.
Yeah,
and I heard him because he heard me like beatboxing or something. And he said, "Hey, do you?" He came out of his room limping, and he says, "Hey, do you DJ?" And you're like, "Fuck yeah, you know who I am. I'm Be Famous, aka HANZ Solo." And he goes, "You know what? I'm going to give you my ACL and I'm going to sign this bitch." And it says D Rose with a tiny rose. A tiny rose.
He got stuff on Marbury's AM1s. Got everything.
Yeah, the original ones. The prototypes. Fuck out of here.
Hey, man, look, I'm sorry.
Thank God we can't read that.
What the fuck? I can't see.
No, I'm going to make this smaller. I'm going to make this much, much, much smaller. So
hey, man, it's lanyards for things I DJ, man. It says
Woo!
VIP, performing live, exhibit. MC8.
Can you put it closer so that people can see it? Can I make that smaller? Let me see. No, I'm just kidding.
Look at that.
Look at. See, I wish I would have kept all of the things and stuff that I've had, but I also have one question for you before we get off this, because we got to.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's one better for you. Hold on.
Fuck you.
Want to see this one?
That right there is Derrick Rose's fucking ACL. It's over in the corner. It's a little tiny shriveled up piece of meat.
Hold up. I'll bring it closer. Can you see? You know who that is?
Wow.
I have a Michael Jordan story.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No, but it says Charles Oakley on there too.
I'd also have a Charles Oakley story.
You're hilarious.
And it has Brad Sellers on there.
You got to save that shit to part two.
Wait. You don't think I have stories? I just told you about the color purple.
You have stories.
I just told you the story about color purple.
We clearly have stories.
You know why this is fun for me, man? Because like I said, I could tell you all this shit. You know what I mean? And it's nothing, man. Like I'm truly blessed, and I've had a great life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and
it's had ups and downs, but I wouldn't trade any of it. You know?
Yes, that's it right there. That's it right there.
Because if I change anything, then I don't get the whole experience.
Things that you're saying, but I understand and know truly in my heart. I know these are all accomplishments and milestones in your career, and I understand that. No, because I have a lot of times where we're on shows and I interrupt because I remember something, and it's a story about something, and it may seem like I'm flexing, but it's just really talking about my journey through hip hop and the culture and everything, and all the things that I've done, things that I've accomplished. And even milestones that I hit within my own career in music. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with it. I just make fun of it. That's all. I'm not making fun of you.
No, I know. We joke about it. But like I said, I don't look at it flexing.
I respect it.
You know,
100%.
I just look at, a lot of times you hear a lot of people chirping and talking, and they never have any kind of receipt or proof of any fucking thing they're talking about.
We talk about that all the time, too, on the show.
Like you said,
motherfucker have receipt.
Like you said, you wish maybe you saved some of the shit that you had from before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've saved a lot of things from just my journey.
And this is the oddest and craziest part is I've had people and still have people that I've worked with over the years that I've gotten in contact with and reconnected with that have more of my shit than I have. And then they just, because they were instinctively like just DJs and saving their records and shit like that they like even all of the shit like we used to do on the 4-track and even 8 tracks, they saved they have so much shit, and I'm like, man, I need that. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. There's guys that have hit me up that said they had old mixtapes that I did from like the 90s, and I was like, I wonder what that fucking sounds like now to me.
Yeah, isn't that something you wanna go like? It's a journey within yourself. It's like a self-reflection, a journey, and you remember all of these little specific parts of how you got there. It's a beautiful thing, and it's even more beautiful that other people saw enough to even save that shit.
I just want to laugh at myself. I'm like, yeah, he sucked right there, man. Oh,
but there's the thing about it is, and I know you're gonna agree with me, even when you sucked, you're gonna hear, because I've had people bring and send me some shit, so I've got stuff. But you're gonna hear things that even though quality and maybe drum patterns and everything are not like what you wanted them to be or whatever, but you're gonna hear the beauty in what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? You're really gonna hear like, oh shit, I was right there. I was on something. Like I go back and listen to beats that I've done 20 years ago, and I go, what the fuck was I thinking when I made that? I want some of that energy.
Because you're listening, because like I said, when we listen to it, we're listening to it from 2022 ears now. Like,
right.
All right, yeah, what the fuck was I going with that? Like, hold on. And now you can't figure out where you were going with it because now you've aged like wine, and you're like, all right, you know what? I don't know where I was going with that one.
But it's the beauty of what we hear in it. You know what I'm saying? The beauty, you're gonna appreciate your old mixes when you hear them. Of course, you're gonna critique yourself and all that, but maybe songs you probably wouldn't even think about blending today, that these were part of your repertoire, and you're like, what the whoa?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you hear the brilliance in which that you were trying to catch, but you didn't catch it, but it's there. The idea is there. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, I get that every time I do anything.
Yeah,
I've never, like you said, I've never went to somebody's studio session to lay cuts for them with the idea. And anytime I've done cuts for people, it's never been the same. And I've never been able to emulate it after I've done it.
And I've said this before on the show. I feel like being the type of artists and creators that we are, And shout out to everybody else that's a creator. But to me, I call it a poke in the head from God. Like you sometimes you just don't understand where the inspiration and the shit comes from. You make it, you give your ears a break, you come back and you listen to it, and even after 30 minutes to an hour of not hearing the shit that you just did, you come back in and you're still like, okay, what the fuck did I just do? Like sometimes it's so dope. You're like, what? And you try to, and it doesn't hit the same, or it's the concept, and you go, whoa. It takes you a couple of days to soak it the fuck in, and you're like, wait, what?
You've been with me though, and you've seen it where you're like, I like that one. Let's keep that one. No, erase that. I'll do it better.
Yeah.
And it's not the same as I just did it. It's better, but it's not the same as that one.
Not the same. That's true. And it takes a certain ear for that. It really does. Man, we've got to do a part 2 because we're really rolling on 3 motherfucking hours. We have just broken the entire records of all records.
Applause.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. You know.
Hey, listen, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, how they can find you, how they can contact you, how they can give you $10 for some motherfucking jackets. Let's get back on that shit too. You know, I'm down with Red Cup. I'm down with Red Cup Radio. I'm down with HANZ SOLO. I'm down. We as Unwrap are down with whatever the fuck you want to do. And we'll be there at any time to support or anything like that. But tell the people how to contact you. Tell them all of your shit.
Well, anything that involves me on social media is at I am DJ HANZ SOLO. It's all one thing. No underscores, nothing. I am DJ HANZ SOLO. On Facebook, my personal page is Olo Zana.
That's HANZ SOLO backwards, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're looking for me and you find that, okay, good for you. Good luck on that one.
Will that be also for booking for shows? They can find you that way? Or do you have
because all my links are that way. If you want to go to my website, like for shirts or sticker packs or coasters and things of that nature, mixtapes, it's www.djhanzsolo.com.
Word. And shout out. Oh, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
If you want to catch me live, I stream live on Twitch, Mixcloud, same thing. At I am DJ HANZ SOLO. You just Google I am DJ HANZ SOLO, you'll find whatever you need to find.
You literally will find all of that.
Shout out to DJ HANZ SOLO and for breaking the motherfucking Unwrap record for the longest podcast. We gotta do a part 2. Tell me you're gonna commit to a part 2, man. We gotta do part 2 next week. We gotta do
Catch me if you can.
I knew that was coming. But I want to say to you, man, thank you so motherfucking much for doing this show. You know, I know we're a little bombastic at times. We're a little, you know, out of here, and it may seem like with this bad energy over here because she doesn't like the fact that I don't fuck with Beats by the Pound. But we'll get over that. We're gonna probably end up in therapy, but that's fine. I ain't
even gonna lie to you, man. I was listening to the Ice Cream Man the other day, man.
Come on, man. That actually, Ice Cream Man.
Did you hear that? Because I heard it. I don't know about you.
You talk that wall don't talk back.
Yeah, it said it did. It heard it.
Listen, that was before Beats by the Pound.
I don't give a damn. Okay, it was the cousin of the
that was no. That was when that nigga was living in Oakland. So please.
What about the Mia X joint?
Huh?
I don't even know what beats they did then. You know,
I don't either. I
had Mia X not that long ago in
Shut up.
Because you're not gonna find any information because they didn't do it.
You are off my Christmas card list. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
That's good. I don't want to see you and Pierre in matching pajamas anyways. Okay, so listen, shout out to DJ HANZ SOLO for being on Unwrap, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute motherfucking pleasure. I was excited all the way this moment. I told them before we even got started, this shit was probably going to go over 2 hours because it's just so much. And it's so interesting to hear your part and everything, man. And thank you so much for being on the show, brother.
Because we could just ramble on forever.
I know. I just feel like radio, and and
but
it's the Aries in me too. So yeah.
Shout out to everybody that tuned in, man, and shout out to your show. Shout out to everybody in Chicago, LA, New York, everywhere.
Yeah, I got a feeling these numbers are gonna do crazy.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to Mr.
No,
Hans
I
Solo?
really appreciate you for doing the show. It was a great interview, and I just think it's beautiful that somebody can have a career as long as yours and be successful and happy and at peace, you know, and still sustaining, you know, that is great. I hope you truly really do feel, you know, your contribution to success and furthering along hip hop.
I just keep the bat signal up. Like when you see the little Han Solo thing in the sky, I'm good. All right, well, he's there.
My man's. Well, look, once again,
If I turn the light off, you know, that's the end of the road. Then it's over.
we don't see that happening.
No,
We don't see none of that happening. But again, shout out to you for doing the show. Shout out to anybody that's going to listen to this. I implore you to listen to this.
Yeah,
This is good shit.
damn near 3 hours.
This is good shit.
Good stories, good information, good vibes.
Good vibes. And see,
You want me to just
that's
go
a
ahead and call
testament-
Heat out next time?
Huh?
You want me to just go ahead and call Heat out in the beat battle next time?
Lucky, you lucky.
Don't
Wait a
start
minute.
that
Wait
shit.
a minute.
Don't start
Wait
that
a
shit.
minute. I'll go on Instagram after this and start calling niggas out, and I might start naming names.
You know he will. Like, it's like
I
2 seconds
fucking-
after we end the broadcast.
And I'm gonna drink
I know.
some shit in my system, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? Fuck them all. I want all the smoke. I want all. I'll go on my Instagram. You'll see so many posts like that. I don't give a fuck. I give a fuck. I want smoke. Oh, fucking shit. I can't even. I'm so drunk. I can't even work my shit. What the fuck? But I still want the smoke. God damn it! Shout out to Han Solo for saying that. Yeah.
It's the thought that counts.
Man, I love it. I love it. Man, we love you over here at Unwrap, man. We want it, and we got to do a part 2. Man, there's so much of your story that needs to be heard and that you need to tell, man. And that's just facts.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
thank you,
We'll get
gratitude
back
for
together.
everything. We about to sound up. You know what the fuck this is, man.
Yes, man. Check us out next week. Same bad time.
Man, I need these motherfuckers to start subscribing. Go on YouTube.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Unwrap /rap.
Yes.
Can you do us a fucking solid? And maybe even we might even get the engineer. Probably we'll be able to buy him a chair, maybe,
And we can hire them on and stop using fucking day labor.
or either that or stop giving them snap food balance shit. Han Solo.
Shit, I need some.
And
of that shit.
listen. We love it. And we are going to be here, man. Go onto our shit, link, subscribe, do all that shit. Like this shit, share this goddamn shit, because somebody need to hear this goddamn Han Solo interview, man. And we got part 2 coming again, boy. Y'all better watch yourself, man. This has been Unwrap, baby.
Rap.
And we out, son.
Peace.
Yeah, we about to end it right now.